heart's so intense.
Hello and welcome to round number 11 of the 2020 MXS World Grand Prix Championship. It is the MXSGP of Belgium here in Lommel, and we're getting the night started, of course, with the MX2 division. Tyler Lang looking to wrap up the title here tonight a round early. He is sitting 39 points ahead of Payson Johnson, so Johnson going to try to keep him from winning the title, while in the 450 division, Alexis Leclerc, a 42-point lead on Adam Holm, also trying to clinch the world championship here tonight. So we'll keep an eye on those storylines as they develop. But as mentioned, we are here in Lommel, which is a classic sand circuit, very flat but very, very, very bumpy, 1,880 meters in length, 1.17 miles. We're about 44 miles outside of Brussels in Belgium. And if you guys are synonymous with the Motocross of Nations, you guys are pretty synonymous with this track as it recently hosted it. But here's a look at the racing surface. As mentioned, going to be a lot of sandy, rough bumps all the way around the track. We're going to have to keep an eye on how the track deteriorates here tonight. But out of the first corner, which is a little over a 90-degree corner, you got this long straightaway, that tabletop at the end of it, a little roller section through the corner here as you try to get on the power to carry speed up and over this single jump. Get on the power down the backside of that over the big tag designs table, pretty much the biggest jump on the track down the very backside of the circuit here. And then you go all the way over this loamy dirt hill, cut back, and then this is the switchback section. We may see some guys trying to hop over the actual center divide there at some point tonight. Keep working away all the way through and coming back towards the center of the circuit once again. Little inside roller option there, and then again get on the power off this race tech single. Get hard on the gas on landing to get into this corner. Power in and out of this corner, again keeping the throttle just absolutely wide open through these sections as much as possible. Carrying speed over this little roller section. And again, just rollers everywhere. Sandy, messy conditions. It's really going to be tough for these guys to navigate through. Double back here is again working down by the mechanics area now. Another switchback section. You're going to see some guys maybe trying to hop over that little inner divider. And down past the mechanics area. Going to get some words of encouragement from the mechanics as you go by. And then this tricky section where you kind of get a little bit floaty off of that single, and then big finish line jump here over the ride365.com finish line jump. Don't blow the corner like I did. Get into a nice rut and actually flow through that corner quite well up to this race tech single. You can either launch the triple or then double your way through. Big bull berm here at the other end. You're going to see guys probably folding to the second from the outside rut that's available there. And then a little double that leads you through again, another kind of left-right complex. Hard right-hand corner here, though. And you want to get a good exit out of this one because it's a long drag all the way around this corner here, all the way back onto the start straight as you launch this double, go over some of the ruts, and back onto the start straight. So that is a lap here tonight. And so glad you guys could join us here on Start Your Systems. Of course, my name is Kellen Brower here, bringing you guys the action tonight from Lommel here in Belgium. But before we get started, of course, we want to take a look at our qualifying times and see where everything shook down. Reminder, we're going to have two 30-minute plus 2-lap MX2 races coming up right after this. So let's take a look at qualifying. It was Payson Johnson, 155 dead to Tyler Lang's 157.5. So Johnson trying desperately to claw that championship away from Tyler Lang. His grasp really laying down in an astonishing lap time, 2.5 seconds faster. Dalton Plessinger, 158 dead. Colby Eaglin on a 58.2. Luke Sullivan on a 58.5. And you can see going down the order. As we go down to the bottom here, looks like 47 people ran laps. So we may very well have a consolation race. So as to not miss it, let's go ahead and jump in the server and check it out. As we get revved up to go racing here in the deep sands of Belgium, on the very, very eastern side of Belgium. In fact, we're much closer to the German border in Lommel than we are to the capital of Belgium. Good to see people hanging out in chat. Everybody hanging out. I see FSHD. Fished, I guess. Will you be hosting any type of MX bike races? So a common misconception that people have with what I do here is that I run these races. I don't run these races at all and never have. RaceFactorGaming.com runs these races. I am just the broadcaster for them. So they have me broadcast these races for them. So I don't run the races at all. I have no idea if and when there's going to be a more established MX bike series. I know they've had some series that they tried to get off the ground, but there's still some problems with the game that it kind of needs ironed out. But yeah, I don't host these at all. I get a lot of people message me, say like, hey, I know that you run the races, but no, I don't. Like, think of it as I am the NBC Sports to the Feld Entertainment, if you will. Like, I don't really have much tie to what goes on with the racing action. So, yeah, I don't know if there's going to be MX Bikes races or not. I don't know where Wallman is. MX Simulator, you can get on Mac, but you have to get a Windows, what's it called? You have to basically boot up your Mac in Windows, but I forget, I think it's called an emulator, a Windows emulator that you need to get to be able to do it. Yeah, Steve, if it was an hour ago, I don't think I got your skins, buddy. Sorry. I got a lot of things that I'm trying to juggle, so usually I just go to the skins thread for reference, but maybe I did. Let's see. Maybe not. Nope, definitely not, because they're... Oh my god. You guys are insane. Why is there always so many skins? Good gravy. Yeah, I didn't get your skin. Sorry, Steve. All right, here we go. Racing in Lommel, but it is the MX2 consolation race. Only 4 riders go through. Looks like it is Siebold trying to get to the inside, and he takes down the man who would have had the whole shot around the outside. I think that was Thompson, but it's Siebold, Tristan Powell, Trevor Spencer, and Darius Peterson up front early. Remember, only 4 riders go through. Darius Peterson getting swapped out, and then triples the rollers a little bit there. So around the outside goes Chandler, blocks him. Everybody getting a little wayward on the table, and Peterson, who landed off track, is going to go around the outside. Tristan Powell peeking inside on his teammate Trevor Spencer, getting crossed up a little bit even as Peterson tucks inside. Almost runs into the back of Tristan Powell, and we got a host of hungry characters coming up behind Darius Peterson as blocks him, looks to go to the inside. Peterson tries to go around the outside, but blows the corner, so Dylan Love also takes advantage. Oh, and then contact. Who rode out of that? That was Emmett Sund. The contact that flipped him up into the air. He basically did a whip mid-straightaway, and he was able to hold on to it. But going through was indeed Trevin Thompson, who nearly had that hole shot before Siebold came in and ripped it out from under his fingertips. So he's going to try to keep on fighting his way forward and maybe make it into these motos. He's got to get around, blocks him. Dylan Love Looks like Love is up into that final transfer spot now. Only 10 guys in this consolation race. But it is Seabold out front. Not sure why I don't have his skins. Seems like it's been a common thread here of late. I even angrily messaged in the RF Discord today about it, how many people are team hopping or giving me new skins late in the season. It's really discouraging as a streamer. It's quite frustrating actually this late into the season how many people are still sending me new stuff. And I get it, some people, whatever, maybe you made a new team or something like that, but it is literally every time I open Discord. I think today alone I opened Discord, I had 13 new messages, all of which were skins to download tonight. There's a skins thread, but a lot of people don't usually send it there. But even so, 13 messages. Bro, it's round 11 of the series. What are we doing here? And it appears I do not have Seabold's gear, whatever it is. So that's a bummer. Trevor Spencer still hold on to second. Oh, Tristan Powell just went down in third. Tristan Powell down, and he's going to lose that spot to a couple riders that just went by, Thompson and Dylan Love. Dylan Love holding off Trevin Thompson, who almost went over the bars. And Dylan Love right now holding on to P3, and Thompson right behind him in fourth, so they're in transfer spot. Blocks him now 6 seconds down in fifth. Darius Peterson, Tristan Powell, Nathan Guy, Emmett Sund, and Brian Brinker off the back of them. So these guys do not need to pass each other to make it into the motos, but they may well still have a bit of a battle. We've got some time to work with, as mentioned. That 6 second gap back to Bloxham will do them wonders in this battle because they know they have a little bit of time in case there's a slide out or so. And quite often on this track, these sandy, loamy tracks that you don't get much air off of, there's not many hills or anything to speak of, you usually are pretty able to save crashes. If you're going to go down, you're able to either slide out or even just straight up save the crash from happening. Oh man, as Trevin Thompson gets sideways. Whoever's in chat right now, by the way, I know there's 74 lovely of you people here as Dylan Love goes around Trevor Spencer for second. Just go ahead and start making a tally of how many times tonight that I'm going to reference that one of my fondest memories in this game was being Team USA's MX2 rider at Lommel in 2012, where we finished fourth. So there's mention number one. I'm sure I'll mention it 30 more times tonight. My sand skills and my prowess there. Seabold out front, though. Absolutely cruising. Curious to see if that he's in this consolation race. I'd have to imagine he just either didn't run a lap or maybe just ran one lap really late and wasn't good enough to get right into the motos, whatever it was. But clearly it seems like he's quite comfortable. Just cruising out front, though. Doesn't look like he has no time on the track. His lines look really good. He's flowing from section to section. He's got a big lead. All the signs that point to someone who actually had time on the track, so not sure what happened there. Maybe he was signed up to race 450s and dropped to 250s last second, I guess. I really don't know, but either way, he's going to come down. He's going to take the white flag this time by. And lap time check out front, he's doing 2:01.1, 2:01.6. Trevor Spencer in second just did a 2:05.2. We got a 2:08 flat, 2:08.3, a 2:25, 2:26, 2:18, 2:12, and no lap time. So Seabold kind of on a different planet right now compared to these guys. Got a 21-second lead. Thompson laying down 2:09s. Here comes Nathan Guy. Does a 2:04.8, so steps it up a little bit. He's up to fourth now. He's got Dylan Love right behind him. So we got a battle brewing here for the final transfer spot. Got a rider down as well as Nathan Guy creeps up on Trevor Spencer, and we got a three-rider battle here for third. Only two riders of this group will go through to the motos. Spencer and Guy are both safe right now, but Dylan Love is lurking back there, and he'd love to take advantage. No pun intended. Oh, Spencer almost lost the front wheel over the edge of that berm. And Nathan Guy is coming with a vengeance. Peeking up the inside on that 171, but Spencer shuts the door. And here comes Dylan Love. We got another rider sneaking into the background. Is that Powell, I think? Oh, and Nathan Guy has got Dylan Love all over him now. 3-rider battle, and it is intense action for this final transfer spot, which is currently occupied by Nathan Guy on the C4 Designs TM Factory Racing Machine, and he goes over the bars. Oh, Nathan Guy with a heartbreaker as he loses. He went over the top of that jump. The front wheel went over it, and he just got kicked off the back end. And when the nose landed, it shot him down hard. And it was Tristan Powell who was moving up there, so Dylan Love gets a bit of a gift there. May have well been on his way to making the pass anyway, but he is now up into 4th alone, trying to give chase to Trevor Spencer. They're still going after Trevin Thompson. And Siebold out front looks like he is going to stamp his ticket to the motos with the race victory. Over the top of this hill, just wide open in first gear, takes it in the consolation race. Trevin Thompson, who was taken down by Siebold in the first corner, is just going to hold on to second over Spencer. And Dylan Love, indeed, goes to the motos tonight here in Lommel. Nathan Guy, he comes across P5. Tristan Powell will end up 6th. Blocks him, Sund, Brinker, and Peterson all out of this one. So cuts are now in. Did anything change? No, it did not. Confirmed. Siebold, Thompson, Spencer, and Love going through to the motos. Alrighty. Now we await. Get those scripts loaded in and get racing here. MX2 Race 1 coming up. That's kind of mean, but it's funny. Preston Studer in chat asks, Kellen with Suzuki's having good performances recently. Anstey, Troll, Whole Shots. Do you think they'll be able to wait another 10 years before updating their bikes? LOL. Yeah. We like to make fun of Suzuki. It's true. They need to update their bike. They need to get their R&D program back. They need to get an actual race program off the ground. I know JGR does a good job with that, but Suzuki factory just doesn't really have a lot to give there. But you know what? I, for one, think it's cool that Suzuki was able to win a race this weekend. They almost won with Anstey, too. It sounds like their new president wants to go racing as well. And, you know, I think just the more brands, the merrier. I think it'd be sad to lose Suzuki as a contender in this sport on any level. So when they do good, I think it's good news for the industry. Because even if the bike is old, we still need brands like them to give factory rides out. And yeah, it's just good to see Suzuki running up front. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to go racing. MX2 Race 1 loading onto the gate. Tyler Lang trying to clinch a world title here tonight. And Lang would cap off, or I guess begin to cap off, what has been a terrific outdoor season for him, where he is also trying to go for the Ride365.com National Championship as well. King Sour Vids wants to know, do all bike models handle the same in MX Sim? No. There are different... Well, handling, yes, because your suspension pretty much always reacts the same way. Well, not true, actually. Your advanced setting is what determines how much like your body moves and all that stuff like that. Your suspension settings are pretty standard. Like you can jump from bike to bike to bike and it feels similar, but the difference with each bike is the dyno charts. So the Suzuki in the game, the Honda in the game, the Yamaha in the game, the Husqvarna in the game, all have different power charts essentially that are taken from real dyno charts that have been done on the bike. So because of that, yeah, the newer Suzukis are slower than, let's say, the new KTM model in the game or something like that. And as such, the suspension and everything that you have that's tied to that bike will react differently because you're in the different rev ranges. You're going faster in certain gears and things like that. So no, the bikes don't all handle the same because there's different power ratios, if you will, that basically make them have different effects on how things react into the game and stuff like that. But no, they're not the same. Vbor 2212 wants to know, is MXSim on Steam? No, it's not. It's never been on Steam. Not sure. I think JLV said why he doesn't want it on Steam. I think because he likes it being as open source as it is. But yeah, MXSimulator.com, 42 American dollars, 42 US dollars. I'm not sure the conversion rates of all that right now. I'm sure wherever you guys are, you could figure that out though. And I see a lot of people sometimes say it's not worth it or it's sketchy to buy from the site or whatever. And I promise you there's more content that's available for free in this game than you can find almost anywhere else. There is ridiculous amounts of tracks, bikes, helmets, models, you name it, this game has it. And yeah, because of that, I fully believe the $42 is worth it. But I feel the same way about MX Bikes, and MX Bikes is on Steam. I think that Sim probably should have been on Steam at some point, but MX Bikes also has a multitude of content that you get beyond just the stock stuff that comes in the game. And I know that some people like just pick up MX Simulator, look at the stock tracks and stock models and think, well, this is stupid. Like, why did I buy this? But there's so much more to it than just the stock stuff. So look around, find your way around the forums, ask me for any help, and I'm happy to answer. You can also look at our tutorial videos on our site. In case you're confused about anything, a lot of those videos answer some questions. But yeah, fully believe it's a good buy. I don't have a favorite MX Sim team because that would be eliciting favoritism, which I do not have in this game at all. I guess if I did have a favorite MX Sim team, it would have to be called the Start Your Systems FamMX Racing Team, which currently we only really ever have Ethan Parks race for it, so I think I'll probably cut that team down a little bit next year. Hopefully Ethan still wants to be on the team because he's making us look good, but hopefully Jack Gatlin comes back and maybe I'll do some amateur racing or whatever, but we'll cut the program down a little bit. But that would be my favorite team, I guess. Alrighty. Loading into MX2 race number 1. 30 minutes plus 2 laps. Hopefully these bikes load in time. Taking forever, JLV. Let's load the game. Off the side of the track, JLV goes. We are revved up, and we are racing in Belgium. Off and running, MX2 race 1. Whole shot's coming from a Husky. No, it's actually going to be Lang who gets to the corner first. Can he hold it, though? Lang inside and out. Just barely got the race tech whole shot award and almost went down immediately as Jonathan Alexander on the Raceware 89 takes over the race lead. So it's Alexander and Colby Eagland who has been on the charge of late. Moves up into second, and he lands on the back of Alexander and goes down. So everybody funnels on by, literally a freight train of people going on through. Alexander continues to lead. Payson Johnson moves immediately up into second, though, your fastest qualifier by 2.5 seconds here at Lommel. Clearly, it looks like he is trying to make amends for some mistakes that have happened of late, but it might be a little bit too little too late. 41 points down the championship. So if Lang can just beat Johnson by 9 points tonight, he is your world champion. So So Johnson right ahead of Trent Adams. There is Lang right behind Adams. And Lang, oh, he goes down. He gets into the back there of Adams, and down he goes. I'm not sure who he's with there. Tyler Lang and Siebold. Siebold from the consolation race had a great start. Oh, and he gets landed on again by Alex Kerr, but this puts Tyler Lang way down the order, and he has got a huge hill to climb up. As out front, Payson Johnson takes over the race lead from Jonathan Alexander to complete lap number 1. And on his way he goes. He's just going to try to go 1-1. And be damned what happens behind him. He's going to try to make it happen here. Again, it is not the end of the world for Lang to not outscore Johnson tonight. But, oh, Johnson, oh, a little out of shape. Man, that was close. But if Lang, man, the lines that Johnson's taking. If Lang can't salvage some good points here tonight, then he's really putting himself in a tricky situation, because he could potentially wrap up the championship a moto early if he's still able to keep it close. And that's going to do himself a huge favor. But obviously we still have one more round of the championship as Alexander goes down behind Johnson. So Trent Adams, I believe that was, just going by for second. And Tyron Tomic going by, the 202 of Lois Gorin on the motorsport.com machine going by as well. Kyler Hockey trying to make the pass on Alexander as well. We also got Ethan Gerst up front, Cooper Hunt, and Tyler Lang has already made a lot of positions. He's already right behind Cooper Hunt. So Lang wasting no time whatsoever to go towards the front. Swoops in around the outside, cuts back across. Now trying to go after Gerst. And Hunt's not trying to let him go either. Cooper Hunt trying to keep things close. And Lang pulls alongside Gerst. Is this going to be the pass made? It is, just around the front nose there of the 160 machine. Oh, and then the 25 machine also gets out of shape. That's Hockey. So Lang making several passes already. It's good news for him, too, because he's trying to keep tabs on Payson Johnson up the road. Braden Carter further 7 points behind Payson Johnson in this championship. I haven't seen Carter here tonight just yet. Let's actually dive through the field and see if we can find him. There he is, actually, on a new team this week nonetheless. Braden Carter. Oh, what a save. Completely out of shape. And that's the second time we've seen someone almost lose it through there. But Carter, who was on the QM1 Yamaha team, now on the SwapMotoLive.com effort. And interesting change this late into the season. Looks like Nathan Prynn has also made his way around Jonathan Alexander. He's trying to close up on Hockey. And the 341 is also in there. That's Seth Carr. So it looks like Hockey's actually lost several positions. And Prynn is trying to move forward. The rider on the 130 Panini Motorsports Kawasaki. These guys ripping that inside right. You're going to see some of these lines really developing to some big, deep lines as the race goes on. If you're new to MX Simulator, maybe you've never seen this before. The track is constantly deforming underneath these bikes. It's tough to see from every time that they go by because they're not actually laying tracks down like little ruts or anything on the ground. But little subtle changes to the track every time. So by the end of this moto, as Prynn makes a pass on Hockey, by the end of the moto, there's going to be some really deep ruts. And what it ends up doing is forcing guys out of the lines, as Cooper Hunt also went down, and trying to take some different lines in every corner. On a track like Lommel with these bumps everywhere, it's really all about finding that smooth line. So you'll see guys on this track searching around for something a little bit better, a little bit more to their liking. Colby Eaglin and Trent Adams trying to go at it. Eaglin almost alongside Adams, but then backed out of the challenge as Adams hung on the QM1 Yamaha effort. Both of them trying to triple down to that bump and then clear this table to the back here. Around the outside of the big steep bumps on the inside and then kind of hop in here. Launch out to flat for both. And then the big table, Eaglin gets a scrub off. Gonna try to get to the inside of Adams. He's got a line and down to the inside he goes to make that pass. A nice move in the end. We got a rider down. That's Lang. And your points leader picks himself back up. Only lost 3 places by the looks of it, but now right in the fight with Nathan Prinn. So he's behind Tyron Tomic on the 311 Connect Visual Suzuki. Trent Adams on the QM1 Yamaha went by. Colby Eaglin, whom we saw passing Adams on the Panini Motorsports Kawasaki. And your race leader is still Payson Johnson, so Lang was up to second. And Johnson, a little out of shape there. Johnson, your fastest qualifier by 2.5 seconds as he clicks on to lap number 5. Looks like he's pretty much just going to check out with this win with relative ease unless things go completely awry. A lot of race still left to be run, though. These run for 30 minutes plus 2 laps. We're doing 2 motos here tonight in this MX2 division, so a lot of time to be had for these guys. But in the early runnings, Johnson is looking pretty sharp. Look at the speed he carries. Let's actually go on board of them here as he already just started this lap. 58.6 last time by. To this outside. Just doesn't really even let off. Launches way out. 20-second lead already. Stays low and then around the outside. Just soaking up the bumps. Kind of triples there. Launches out to this single. And then carrying speed up to the Taggart Designs table. Tries to lay over a little scrub, but ends up kind of kicking him out a little bit more as like a whip. Then you go cross over this little split right here. Carries so much speed. It's just, Lommel is just a wild, frantic moto. The entire race, it just feels like you're hitting a whoop section. Every single straightaway, lap after lap. This is one of those few tracks where I feel like you do actually kind of suffer what we call a thumb pump. It's not really as bad as you think, but like at the end of the moto, you sometimes take your thumb off the controller and it just feels like it's kind of locked stiff because you just were putting in so much effort trying to move the bars around and everything like that. As Johnson was on a really good lap, but kind of got hooked up in that corner a little bit. Let's see how it wraps up here. He's been pulling away all the while here. Smooth on the inside rut. Another good lap. 57.8 in the motos, no less. Payson Johnson ripping right now. How about Tyron Tomic? The rider out of Australia has moved up into second. Trying to match some of his career best rides thus far. This would be good for Tomic to put everything together here. Still got Nathan Prinn right behind him. So nice international flavor comprising of the top 3. Payson Johnson out front, of course, from the United States. But then Tyron Tomic, who's in second, the rider out of Australia. And Prinn, who is just in third but went down. He's out of France. So he allows American Colby Eaglin to go by. American Braden Carter also went by. And Trent Adams, also an American, finding his way through. Seabolt behind them, and then Lang. So Lang, he's got all the guys in front of him that he needs to. Just has to pass him. Seems unlikely he'll get to Payson Johnson. But still a second place finish in this one would be a good salvage job. And depending on how things shake down at the end of this moto, he will probably mathematically eliminate Colby Eaglin. Eaglin sitting 92 points down in the championship, it looks like. And needs to be less than 75 points down in the championship. at the end of this moto, but pretty unlikely unless Lang has a disaster. Ah, that's right. Eagland is Canadian. Whoa, what's going on here? Adams is upside down, and Carter was off the track. So Lang gets a couple of spots back, and Carter's going to try to go with him. Siebel right ahead of them. So we got a little bit of a freight train. Is now Nathan Prinn is right off the front of this group, and I think Tomic is still right there. Eagland has moved up into second, and he's continuing on his way. Whoa, Tomic going way off the left side of the track. He's going to try to get back on before they get here, but now Tomic right at the front of this group. It's going to be Tomic, Prinn, Siebel, Lang, and Carter coming out of the corner. But this little four-pack really is the close one to watch. Lang trying this outside line on Siebel as Prinn goes around Tomic. Lang scrubs it down. He's going to try to go to the inside on Siebel. Launches into the corner and gets it stuck to that inside. Nice move for Lang to get the pass done on Siebel. I believe that moves him up to 5th. Next up, going to have to go after Tomic, who is trying to get back around Prim. Lang absolutely flying right now. Good to see not only that there's a mixture of good riders up front, but a mixture of brands being represented as we have Prinn on the Kawasaki, Tomic on the Suzuki, Lang on the Honda, Siebel back there on the Husqvarna, and off of them, Braden Carter on the KTM. So we're just missing a Yamaha up here as down goes Siebel in the background, but Lang goes around the outside of Tomic and is almost alongside of Prinn now. So Tyler Lang trying not to waste any time around the outside. No, Prinn shuts the door. So Prinn doing a great job at holding Lang at bay, and you have to wonder a little bit about team dynamic coming into play here, as it's a Panini Motorsports 1-2-3 as Lang slides out. Tomic is going to go back by. But Lang able to corral it back together. As mentioned, it's a Panini Motorsports 1-2-3, and their teammate, Payson Johnson's trying to win this championship as Lang goes back through on Tomic. So if these guys can help it, they're going to try to be a bit of a buffer for Lang, as Johnson, Eagland, and Prinn all on the same team. I don't know. It's tough to tell because I'm not sure how close all those guys are, being that they are teammates. I'd have to imagine at least hang out in a Discord together from time to time, but friendly or not sure. And whether it's been discussed or not, that they are going to try to help out, keep Lang back a little bit. So Lang able to finally shake off Tomic a little bit, get himself a gap established, and set his sights on Nathan Prinn up the road. And Eagland just went down at a second. He is going to get up as Prinn is getting there. Prinn's going to go by, and you can see Lang coming in the background. Trouble with crashing here at Lommel is unlike other crashes that you have at a regular circuit. It is so hard to get up to speed on these bikes. A lot of this track is momentum. You're just wide open, carrying speed in and out of corners, flowing corners. The second that stops, it is just a long grind to get back to full speed. So a fall-off crash is really about the worst thing that can happen for you, as Eagland goes around the outside of his teammate Prinn to get back by. 21-second lead for Johnson, but we got two Panini riders stacked together here just ahead of Lang. Lang closing up on Prinn again. Might try to size up a move on the Frenchman. And I think Carter... no, that's actually a lapped rider. I was going to say, I think Carter was closing up onto Tomic there. Lapped rider nicely done. Moves out of the way, 241. Hopping through the bumps. Lang down! Oh, what happened there? Lang landed in the rut, and then astonishingly, it just basically looked like he was backwards suddenly. I don't think that was potentially lag off the back wheel of Prix there, but I guess it could have been. That was a really, really strange fall, and it puts Lang back a little ways. Did Tomic go by? It doesn't look like it. No, Tomic is in the background, and he just went down, actually. By the way, shout out, it was Liam Atkinson on the 241 that was doing a nice job as a lapper to get out of the way. But suddenly, the Panini Motorsports guys really have it all their way at this point, as Johnson, a nice lead out front. Eaglin, 20 seconds down of him, and then he's just about a second ahead of his teammate Prix. But Panini 1-2-3 right now. And as we are over halfway into the moto, coming up on 17 minutes and into the moto on this 30-minute plus 2-lap race, so we're over the halfway point. Let's do a really quick top 20 rundown. This one's brought to you by Ride365.com, title sponsor of the Ride365.com National Championship, which you'll see on Wednesday night, but also a huge supporter here of the GP circuit and supporter of RaceFactorGaming.com. Ride365.com, your one-stop shop for all your gear, parts, apparel, and hard parts needs. Head over there today to find everything you need in the motocross world, and tell them that you were sent over by the MX Simulator guys so that they continue to support our little niche game over here. But it is Payson Johnson on the Panini Motorsports number 351. Still out in front. Cruising along. Carrying momentum everywhere he goes and putting down burner lap times. Big gap on his teammate. Colby Eaglin on the 57 Panini ride still in second. His teammate Nathan Prix on the number 130 machine is in third. And they're having it all their way right now. Fourth is Tyler Lang, MV Films number 49. Braden Carter is up into fifth now on the SwapMotorLive.com number 18. Sixth for Tyron Tomic on the Connect Visual number 311. Seventh for Luke Sullivan on the QM1 number 11. And his teammate Trent Adams on the number 22 is in eighth right behind him. Ninth for Mozart Anderson on the Burb Moto number 204. And right behind him in 10th is Trevor Burns on the number 65 machine. I'm not sure which team that is. Is that Volcom? It's like a Volcom Kawasaki. But we haven't seen the Volcom team around for years in this game. But anyway, Burnsy rounds out your top 10. Siebold is 11th on the Rockstar Husky number 39. 12th for Cooper Hunt. Privateer effort on the number 304. Looks like he just had a bad lap. 13th for Jacob Hubbard on the BlastMX.com number 75. 14th for Lois Gorin on the Motorsport.com number 202. 15th for Ethan Gerst. So he's on that same bike as the man we saw up the road a little ways. Well, I'm already forgetting his name, but Gerst is listed as a privateer. He's on the same bike, interestingly enough. Zoe Cross is in 17th on the MXSoccer.com number 56. 18th for Dalton Plessinger on the Panini number 23. So I guess Panini isn't having it all their way. Got their man Plessinger down here in 18th. 19th for Seth Shirley on the 441 Privateer effort. Nice setup out here. I'm not sure if I've seen Shirley on the track before, so good to see some fresh faces out here. And 20th was the near hole shot man, Jonathan Alexander on the Raceware 89. He's had a up and down moto. Still ahead of Casey Cochran on the BPC number 266 and Kyler Hockey on the MXS Magazine number 25, but they are outside of the points looking in, and a bit of an uphill battle. Actually, no, Cochran is the final points paying position, so I had my numbers wrong a little bit there. But anyway, that wraps up our top 20 rundown brought to you by Rad365.com. 20 minutes down, 10 minutes, and 2 laps left to go. And it's still all Payson Johnson out front. But it looks like Lang has got around Prix, who was down, so Lang is up into third now. And at this pace, only going to lose those 5 points to Johnson. Can't imagine Lang is that worried about the championship right now. I think ideally he'd like to wrap it up early. Doesn't seem like it's going to happen tonight, unfortunately for him. Lang disappearing out of shot there. He's got about 11 seconds to make up on Eagland ahead of him. I still can't believe that 57-1 out of Payson Johnson, a 58-7 out of his teammate Eagland, a 57-7 out of Lang. So Lang also trying to match Johnson's pace out front. man, how quickly it gets around that lapper. A 59.5 for Carter in P4 and a 58.6 for Prinn back in P5. Those lap times for the top 5 positions. Seems as though we got some lappers coming into play a little bit here, though. Eagland. Is that Trevor Spencer? No, that is a 5.52. Is that JR Reyes now on the SwapMotoLive.com ride? I guess it must be, huh? Interesting perspective here, though, with Eagland, seeing what it's like to have to weave through riders. Got another downed rider right there. Didn't see who it was. It was a Honda, though. Just keeping up that momentum through these rollers. Oh, and then hopping into the corner, and that's going to bite him. Eagland blows the rut and goes down. Very, very similar crash to what we saw out of Lang a little bit earlier in the race. And speaking of Lang, that's going to be a huge boost for him because he's now going to close up. He's going to be about 4 or 5 seconds down of Eagland. Oh, but Lang goes down too. Oh my goodness, nobody wants to stay on 2 wheels here. So Carter is going to move up into 3rd now, and Lang drops back to 4th. So that's going to be 7 points lost, which again, he could still do. If he, in these 4 motos to wrap up the season, if he only loses 7 points every moto to Payson Johnson, he still wins the championship. The luxury he's afforded himself by having a really, really good season, and more specifically, a really good last round at the MXSGP of Czechia. So Lang continues on after Carter. Eagland was able to remount, but he's pretty much going around the same group of lappers we just saw him going around. There's 5.52 of Reyes again, and the 5.10 of Nygren, it looks like, is just ahead of him. And some other lappers getting mixed in there, and then, whoa, man, we got like 6 guys coming over the hill behind Colby Eagland right now, but none of them are for a position. Next up would be Carter and Lang. Nathan Prinn. Whoa, Nathan Prinn. Woo, man, that was going completely sideways for a long time, but a nice save for Prinny. Jeremy Seabolt back here, all by his lonesome ahead of Mozart Anderson. Tyron Tomic, Cooper Hunt, Trent Adams, Trevor Burns, Ethan Gerst, Lois Gorin, Luke Sullivan. Not a lot of battling going on right now. Don Plessinger is down. Shirley still in the points. Yeah, he's just moved up to 18th. Chris Watts is now 19th. And Alexander is still 20th. Oh, nope, nope. Well, oh, man. And he saved it. Is that Payson Johnson being the guy that's coming up to lap these guys now? I think it is. Yeah, it looks like it is. No, I'm sorry, it's not. It's actually Plessinger. Oh, Plessinger gets into the back of Alexander. So Kyler Hockey will take advantage and go through into the final transfer spot. Where is our race leader actually in relation? He is in this back section. And so he is lapped 17th at this point. P17 is a lap down. And we still have 5 minutes to work with on the clock. Oh, Gerst is just getting kicked all around. Tyron Tomic going after Trent Adams up the road a little ways. You can see how deep some of these ruts are getting. Onboard camera will really kind of help accentuate that, though. Lang closing up on Carter. In fact, let's go on board Lang and see what it looks like for about a lap here. You can just look at how deep some of these corners are getting, though. Ruts are gigantic compared to what they were. Trevor Spencer trying to stay to the left side of the track to allow Lang through, but Lang Not quite able to get the speed to go on by just yet. Finally makes the move. Interestingly enough, it doesn't seem like it cost him that much time. He's still pretty close to Braden Carter there. Kind of a yo-yo effect right now with Carter up the road. Or Lang. Oh, man. Looks like that was maybe Kyler Hockey moving out of the way for Lang. Nicely done. And we got someone on a Kawasaki. 363. Is that, is the Odyssey rider. Forget the name already. Tyler Lang around the outside of him. Losing ground with Carter, though. Oh, and then Carter just went down. Did he hit a lap, or somebody just either disconnected or had already disconnected right next to where Carter was down at? So not sure. Maybe he made contact with the lapped rider and went down. Either way, Lang up into third. 10 seconds down of Eaglin, so long shot, but not out of the question. He could still get second as Johnson goes down out front, but he doesn't care. He's got a huge lead. So he's going to get up and keep on trucking. But Lang, I think, is going to try to close the gap down to Eagland and hope Eagland has some sort of mistake, some moment, a crash perhaps, even, to kind of sway the tides a little bit. So Carter going to lose 2 more points as it stands right now to Lang in the championship. And he'd be 48 points down going into the second moto here, which means if Lang was able to beat him by 2 more points in the next moto, Carter would be mathematically eliminated from the championship. As it runs right now, Colby Eagland will be mathematically eliminated from the championship, from 4th in the standings. So at that pace, only 3 men will remain alive for this 2020 MX2 World title. It's like Plessinger's letting Colby Eagland go by right there. And Braden Carter. Oh, what happened? Lang and Carter swapped places. When did that happen? So anyway, Carter's now ahead of him. He's only 4 seconds down of Eagland. So things are being flipped upside down as we speak. Carter doesn't look like he's actually reeling in Eagland ahead of him that much, though, so maybe it was just a weird incident where Carter got the pass on Lang and then Eagland had a mistake, and so Carter closed up on him, but still, Lang is lurking back there. Yeah, bad lap, 2:07.8, so maybe he did crash right at the end and we missed it. Look at how deep this corner is, though. It's insane, that rut. Gap coming down a little bit. Kind of yo-yoing, but then drops under that 2-second mark and eyeballs widen a little bit. That target much more available in front of you when it's under 2 seconds. Like, you can see the rider, you can know his lines to a degree, you know he knows you're coming. Oh, Carter down. He had just ran his best lap of the race at a 59.4, but it's all for naught at this point because he goes down and coughs up to the position to Lang. And Lang, as mentioned, not that far off of Eagland for a chance to maybe get second in this moto, so that would be huge. Still Payson Johnson out front though, but not way out in front anymore. Check the map as they were going by last time by, and it didn't seem like that lead that Johnson initially had was quite the same anymore, and it's just gotten a little bit worse for him as he goes down, pushing a little hard. And man, that gap is going to come down to, wow, it's got to be around somewhere in the 11 to 12 second range, I suppose. So Johnson's got to be a little bit more careful here. And let's see what the gap is officially. 13, but it's not quite updated fully just yet. 12.9, 12.7, 12.5. Still coming down because it just takes so long to get back up to speed. It looks like it's going to be right at that 12-second mark. And Eagland is coming. Johnson has got to worry a little bit here. I don't know whether or not he clipped the timing sheet last time by. It would have been very, very close. I guess he must not have. I guess the white flag is about to come out. We'll see. Over the finish line. Yeah, white flag is waving. So 1 to go for Payson Johnson. Man, he must have just barely got it. So down these back straightaways a couple more times. Johnson trying to hold off a hard charge from Eagland. Carter has got back around Lang, who just cannot seem to stay ahead of him at this point. And then, man, it's a long ways back to Prinn in 5th. Anderson is trying to charge up and get a top 5 out of this, though. That'd be pretty huge for the rider out of Sweden. Got to try to go after Prinn, though. 8.7 seconds the gap out front. It is coming down. Oh, Prinn down. And then Anderson goes down, too. Anderson barrel rolls out of the inside line. So Prinn and Anderson swap positions and immediately swap it back. And I think that was Dalton Plessinger going by Prinn just ahead of him on the Panini ride. So then Gerst comes through. Cooper Hunt also fighting his way into the mix. Cooper Hunt, I just realized this. I guess he must know this, but he's riding a Privateer Husqvarna with Rockstar logos on the bike. I think there's a Rockstar logo on the back of his jersey, too. Is there not? Is that? I think that's a Rockstar logo, is it? Yeah, Rockstar Energy logo on his jersey, and then he's wearing a Red Bull helmet. So I guess he must know he's doing that, but I don't know anybody who would do that on purpose. Either way, pretty interesting stuff. As Payson Johnson brings us down by the mechanics area one more time. He's going to survive these late race crashes, perhaps. One more corner to go. And Moto 1 here in Belgium is going to go to Payson Johnson as he very graciously lets Seabolt go by. Colby Eagland's going to wrap up second, 6.2 seconds down in the end, so a hell of a charge. Oh, battle for third. Carter trying to keep Lang in sight. Round the outside, he's going to get a better drive down this straightaway. It's going to just come up short, I think, as if Lang can get this corner clean. And he does. Carter's trying to give it one last-ditch effort, but Lang beats Carter for third. That could come down to cuts, though. 4/10 in it. As Nathan Prinn trying to hold on for fifth over Anderson. Remember, they just both had their crashes individually a lap ago, but in the same exact corner. So Prinn coming down by the mechanics area is going to wrap up this P5 spot. Sixth for Anderson. Seventh is going to go to Gerst. Cooper Hunt looks like he will lock down P8. Tyron Tomic trying to hold on for ninth, and 10th is Trent Adams. Lois Gorin in 11th. Luke Sullivan pretty close behind him in 12th. Trevor Burns getting up from a crash in 13th, and Seabolt back here in 14th trying to battle at home with him. And then 15th was Cross, 16th was Jacob Hubbard, 17th for Casey Cochran, 18th for Chris Watts, 19th for Seth Shirley, and 20th was Kyler Hockey. So we await Oh, Burns, he just got passed back by Seabolt, and then Seabolt almost went down, so Burns is trying to get a drive. Burns on that 65, Seabolt on the 39. Drag race into the corner. The gap is shutting, and Seabolt hopping through like a bunny. Oh, and they both go down in the same corner. Who's going to get up first? Well, Burns is going to get up first, but he's facing the wrong way. Seabolt is high-centered on a rut. Oh, Burns should have just went across the inside of the track. Yeah, he screwed himself. He should have went across the inside of the track. It may have cost him cuts, but he would have at least got a straight line going. And instead, Seabolt is going to continue on and cross the line here in 14th. I'm sorry, 13th, and 14th is going to go to Burns. There we go. Cuts are in. Let's take a look. So it looks like Seth Shirley jumped from 19th to 17th as he passed Chris Watts and Casey Cochran on cuts. And the rest stayed the same. No changes elsewhere in the field. In fact, Eaglin had 3 seconds of cuts there, so it would have maybe even cost him a win had he got up and passed Mason Johnson. But Johnson wins moto number 1. And that is going to send us to a little intermission here, but we do not go off the air. In fact, I'm going to sit right here. And if there's any questions that you guys have in chat that you want answered, now would be a good time to ask it, and I would be happy to answer it. So let me know. You got a question? Go ahead and ask it in chat, and we'll answer it here on the air. Yeah, I did a couple first-person laps there, Oscar Richards. So if you actually go back through the stream, you'll see a couple first-person laps if you want. I try to get at least 2 laps in each race of first-person action. Austin Hilton wants to know, what's poppin', Kellen? Oh, you know, just living the life. Grinding stuff out for RacerXOnline.com, then spending almost no time with my family to come broadcast for 4 hours here tonight. A lot of fun. We're almost done, though. And that's it. People ask me sometimes why I don't broadcast in the off-season and do all these. Why don't you do Sim Cup or Simulator of Nations or this, that, and the other thing? It's like, dude, I am grinded out by the end of the season doing 12 GPs, 11 Nationals, 17 Supercrosses. I'm toast by the end of the season. I'm definitely ready to not be broadcasting anymore. I love it. I do. I promise. But it is harsh. So just looking forward to having a nice, easy... As my wife just came on in and showed me some fun things that she's dealing with the baby right now. Ethan Parks wants to know, how is he doing tonight? I got Ethan Parks tapped for a 12-8 performance. Dad life is awesome. Like I said, unfortunately, I feel like I miss a lot of it during the week, and then I work my butt off on the weekends oftentimes, so it's a bummer that I don't always get to spend as much time as I'd like to with the family, just because grinding out the Racer X work and grinding out these broadcasts and grinding out SYS stuff and just grinding constantly. But it's awesome so far. Loving it. Danger Zone 12 wants to know, Kellen, what is your take on the MotoGP season so far? And Marquez injury? Yeah, MotoGP is wild. Like, seems like every weekend there's a new batch of guys running out front. It's not the same 4 or 5 guys. Like, MotoGP in the last decade, it's not that it was predictable, but like you could feasibly guess the 5 or so guys that had a shot at winning every weekend. You know, it was usually like Lorenzo, Marquez, of late like Vinales and Iannone and Dovizioso and stuff like that had chances at winning. But now it's a whole bunch of guys. Binder, and then Oliveira won this weekend, and yeah, it's just crazy. Good season so far, though. I mean, I guess it sucks that Marquez got hurt and is going to miss the season, but hey, I mean, if that's what it took to get a wild, crazy, unique, interesting season out of MotoGP, then I guess it's not the worst thing ever. What's up, Callum Fisher? All right, MX2 Race 1 coming up next. Whoa, we got a lot of questions coming in. Any inside of the NA track is coming after... Wait, any inside if the NA track is coming out after GPs tonight? The NA... Oh, like the... Wait, what? The GP track is out. Are you asking for the, like, 30-minute used version of the track after these guys have used it? Sorry, I'm not sure what you're asking, Bobo. Lava Yama wants to know, what's up, been watching your vids for a while, can't believe I caught the stream. You caught it! You absolutely caught it. You are here and you are watching. Absolutely, Logan Nicholson. I am happy to be here doing it for you guys. Next race coming up right now, Luke Turner. Buckle up your seatbelt, good sir. Got another 30-minute plus 2 coming up. MX2 Race 2 on the docket. They're out for their parade lap right now. I'm doing well. Callum Fisher, how are you doing, good sir? And thanks everybody who asked a question. Kept me entertained during that intermission. Oh, I don't know if Budds Creek is coming out tonight. I really do not. Not inside enough with the Race Factory guys to have that information. I apologize. All right, loading in MX2 Race 2, 30 minutes plus 2 laps on the docket. I think we're probably going to load in just in time for them to go. Oh, wait, nope, we got a game crash. Game crash. Somebody's game crash. Jonathan Alexander's game has crashed. Let's see if they do red flag this. Are they going to red flag it? They keep saying Jonathan's game crashed in chat. He is now going to time out, so that is them on the gate. I'm not seeing a red flag yet. No red flag call in chat. We are waiting to see. Red flag has been called. There it is. And everybody does the proverbial jump of the gate. So we've got a lot of people get their 15-second penalty off the gate. So red flag, waiting to get Jonathan Alexander back in game. Looks like he is back. So now going to load it up again and try to go after it again. Oh, Callum Fisher came by to say hello, how was I doing, and then says has to leave. Got that bedtime. Yeah, it's tough sometimes. I know that we do these broadcasts. I mean, I don't control when they start the race. They try to start it for a time that's suitable for West Coast riders, because obviously 5:30, like if you work a 9-to-5 job, you're barely getting home in time to do this race. But for East Coast guys, sometimes these races go pretty late. So I get it. Bummer you weren't able to stay with us. Looks like somebody's still missing from the middle there. Is anybody... I'm not sure what's going on there, but somebody's definitely missing from the middle. JLV's going to turn that card sideways. We're going to get the revs up, and MX2 Race 2 at Lommel is off and running. Luke Sullivan jumped the gate. It's not a red flag situation, so not sure what's going on. And it's going to be Casey Cochran to the corner first. Does he get the whole shot? No, it looks like it may have went to Payson Johnson. Oh, man, but Siebold immediately takes the lead. So Siebold out front. Payson Johnson right there in second. Colby Eagland in third. We got riders going down in the background. I think it was a Panini rider. Oh, and then Eagland and Cochran get together and go down. So everybody literally going by them now. You can see the whole field funneling through. I saw Lang going there, maybe mid-pack-ish there for the 49. Somebody busted a big whip. That's Chris Watts on the Odyssey MX machine, and he gets absolutely lawn darted off the track by Eagland, who was taking none of it right there. So everybody trying to funnel their way through, and it's absolute chaos in these first laps for these guys trying to fight for position. And how about this? Johnson out front trying to take the early lead, but Jeremy Siebold does not want to let him get away. And the 39 machine is already putting some pressure on Johnson. Remember, Siebold straight out of the consolation race. So either had limited time on the track or a lot of time on a 450. Either way, not quite fully prepared for this race here, it would seem. And now left with the daunting task of keeping Payson Johnson at bay on some level, who has been absolutely ridiculous here tonight. And again, looks like he's trying to lay down these hot laps early and pull out a big lead so that he can afford to crash his brains out 7 times late in the moto. So it is Johnson from Siebold, Anderson with a good start up in third, Cooper Hunt in fourth, Cavacuti, Nathan Prynn, Burns, Gerst, Gorin, and Carr inside of the top 10. Eagland runs 11th. Kerr is 12th. J.R. Ray is up in 13th. Rasmus Ericsson's 14th. Seth Shirley is in 15th. Dylan Love is in 16th. McLaughlin 17th. Casey Cochran 18th. Saves is 19th. And Alexander's in the final points paying position right now. So Chase Donovan's 21st. 22nd for Plessinger. 23rd for Hubbard. And 24th right now for Tyler Lang. He's going to go up 2 more spots. He's up to 22nd and now to 21st. So he's already almost up into the points, but it's going to be a long moto here for the 49. Going to go around the outside of Alex Kerr. He's trying to pass up Plessinger. He's up to 20th, but it is, yeah, Dalton Plessinger right in front of him. Giving him a little bit of fits here. That's the tough part about it, I guess. Panini Motorsports riders literally down the field right now, all throughout. And Lang kind of by his lonesome. Not a lot of help on that MV Films team, which is weird because there was a ton of them early. And then Lang goes down trying to go on the outside of Cochran, but Cochran did not let off and gave him a little bit of a nudge there. So Lang now off the bike again. He's going to fall well back down the order now. He finally gets going, almost lands on Benjamin Saves, and he is in 25th now, right behind Tyron Tomich. So let's just go on board Lang here for a minute at the beginning of this race, and you can see just how hectic it is to try to fight your way forward in this battle of the mid-pack. Well, that's not going to help his case either as he lands and immediately slides out, loses 1 more position there, I guess. Looks like he lost 2 spots, but maybe he gained 1 at the same time, not sure. It's right behind a QM1 rider. Is that Trent Adams maybe, or is it Sullivan? Oh, rider's going down in front of him. That looks to be Benjamin Saves going down. Someone's coming up the inside of him though. Somebody else is down, and he's going to try to go to the inside of Kerr. Makes that pass, and whoever was coming up the inside could not make it happen. So Lang really having a fight for everything it's worth back here. .6 seconds off the next guy ahead of him. Again, it looks like it is a QM1 Yamaha rider that he's trying to catch. And catching them fairly quickly. Another rider down. Didn't see, is that maybe Hockey? Couldn't exactly see who it was. Up to 22nd though for Lang. This is kind of fascinating to see what it's like to have to try to fight forward in these battles. Yeah, that's Sullivan on the 11 right there. Oh my goodness, Tyler Lang center punches Luke Sullivan for 22nd. Or was that for 21st, I should say. Man, where did that come from? He gets up, he's still going to be in 22nd. Huh. Oh, and then Lang goes down again. Lang is down again. What is happening right now? Tyler Lang, a bit of an implosion happening for the 49. Oh, and he absolutely cannot afford to have this happen. Trying to get those results pulled up for Moto 1 so that we can see what exactly it is that we're up against right now. It's the 124 of McLaughlin that he actually had gone by that was down. And remember, Lang almost down again, loses 2 more spots. That's Hubbard on the 75 trying to go by. So Lang, who was 3rd in the first moto, lost 5 points. Now it's a 36 provisionally speaking point lead in the championship for Lang over Payson Johnson. But if Johnson's out front, Lang is outside of the points. That's going to be a 25-point swing. Johnson will only be 11 points down going into our finale as it runs. Of course, still a lot of time to play with. We got a 30-minute plus 2-lap moto here, and we're not yet 7 minutes in, so still plenty of time for Lang to kind of regroup here and get back into some sort of normalcy. But man, it has been far from normal for him here early, and he is really trying to figure it out quickly. I mean, fortunately for him, I guess, is that you can see on the map on the upper right-hand corner of your screen, the red arrow is Lang, who we're on board with right now. The green dot is Johnson out front. But you can see how many people are still right in front of Lang right now. In fact, somebody just went down after this table, so we're going to come up on that. You can see there's a scattering of 7 or so riders just ahead of him now. And if he plays his cards right, yeah, look at that. 3 spots made right there, 24th. He's on Ericsson right now on that TMFR number 42. See if he can get a drive pull up alongside of him. Not quite able to get it just yet. Trying to go outside to inside, cut under. Nice move in the end. 23rd now for Lang. And he's going to get a couple more spots. Some more riders down. He goes around the outside of these guys. Didn't see who that was, but up to 21st. More riders down again. Up to 19th. So 27th to 19th in a lap already for Lang. And there's some guys trying to get together at the end of the straightaway. Thought he might get a couple more spots, but up into the points now, T. Lang. And there's still a fairly good grouping ahead of him. It's going to be a pretty tall task to get up inside of the top 10. But at least right now, Lang is in a much better position than he was. And look at who he's back here with, Braden Carter. So Carter, remember Carter finished up that first moto in 4th. Carter trying to stay mathematically alive for the championship. Eagland was eliminated from contention in that first moto. Now no longer mathematically possible to be the world champion this year. Carter trying to keep his hopes alive. He was 46 points down. Now he's, provisionally speaking, 48 points down. Again, results could change after if there's any penalties applied post-race to Tyler Lang. But a 48-point lead, so if Carter can't beat Lang in this moto, I guess depends on where they finish. Lang only beats him by 1 point. Carter is still mathematically alive going into the finale, but 2 points or more. And suddenly Carter is eliminated from the championship. I'm not sure what your question is, Zachary. Zachary's saying, Papa Kellen's saying they not getting out of second gear again. What? I don't know what. I don't know what that's a reference to. Tyron Thomas just got passed by Tyler Lang. And Tomic goes down in the background, so going from bad to worse for the Aussie. So Cross having a peek down the inside of Brandon Nygren. They're going to go bar to bar down this straightaway. Oh, man, Nygren almost went down there and then Cross off the side of the track. Casey Cochran up the road a little ways. Dalton Plessinger, Dylan Cavacuti, they're having a little bit of a battle right now. Plessinger's about to get a great drive down the straightaway. But it didn't actually materialize into much. Lois Gorin on the motorsport.com number 202. Up the road as well. Oh, but he just went down. Did Gorin. And looks like he only lost one spot though. Cavacuti went by, so other riders may have gone down behind him. Ethan Gerst inside of the top 10. Trying to chase down Mozart Anderson on the Burb Moto 204. Cooper Hunt on the 304 Privateer. Just trying to hold him off, though. Been good rides so far tonight from Mozart, who has just consistently found his way creeping towards the front of the field. Hunt out of the inside rut there. Pulling up alongside Mozart Anderson. Trying to get that pass completed. He's going to go down the inside. And in the end, a rather easy move for Anderson, who just kind of snuck up the inside as Cooper Hunt almost went down in the background. And Gerst is going to go by as well. Jeremy Siebold up inside of the top 5. Nathan Print is in 4th. Trevor Burns quietly putting on a solid effort out here. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Trevor Burns, the commentator's curse. He was in 3rd. Gonna get past, go back to 4th. And just getting going in 4th. Yep, gonna hold on to that P4 spot. So Burns, good ride so far. Let's see how long he can hold on. Or maybe even make some passes forward. But Print now moves up to 3rd. Eagland is still in 2nd. And Johnson out in front. So it's the same 1-2 from the first moto that we saw. And remember, Eagland late in the moto really clawed that gap down to Johnson, who was having a lot of late race mistakes. But Johnson just trying to do everything in his power to win this race here today and do whatever it takes to get closer to Lang by the finale next week. But I think Lang is doing himself a really good job climbing his way through the field. He's already up to 10th, so found his way inside of the top 10. 58s and 57s. So T-Lang on the move, doing everything he can to salvage this one. Like I said, 36-point lead after the first moto. believe I have that right. Or was it a 34-point lead? Now that I think about it, I think it was a 34-point lead. Stupid Kellen. Yep, 34-point lead after the first moto. So as it sits right now with Johnson out front and Lang running in P10, excuse me, that would be 11 points for Lang and 25 points for Johnson out front, so a 14-point swing, which means it would be exactly 20 points going into the finale between Lang and Johnson. But we still have half a moto to run here, people. And Lang just put down his best lap of the race at a 56.8. In fact, I think that's the best lap of the night, even. 56.8. So Lang clearly pissed off and found the zone he was looking for. He is riding at another level. And that gap to the riders ahead of him coming down in a hurry as he is just absolutely putting the hammer down. I think this is going to be chalked up as an unfortunate night for Lang, because I think in reality he wanted to wrap up the world title here tonight if he could, but Payson Johnson clearly putting in the time on the track to make sure that didn't happen. So Lang is going to have to probably force it to next week, and I think in his case he's just hoping he still has a shot to wrap it up in the first moto next week. Has to have a 25-point lead or more after the first moto next week as he claws his way up to 8th. Another 2 points gained, so out to a 22-point advantage on Johnson. And again, just has to be 25 points or more ahead of Johnson after the first moto next week to clinch the world title. Gonna move up to 7th. The rider was down. So through traffic, still a 57.2 out of Lang. Is that the best lap? Wow, no, I'm sorry. Payson Johnson, a 54.9 in the lead, is by far the fastest lap. That is ridiculous. Those guys were running 56, 57s in the first moto. And now 54.9 out of Johnson. What? And where are these laps coming from? These guys have found another gear on this track. Maybe it's just that there's a lot more chaos in the first moto, so it took them a while to get into the groove. But my goodness, into the groove they have gone. This is some super speed, this moto. Eagland not really having much of a chance, and Trevor Burns has moved back up into P3 for the moment. And Nathan Prynn has gone missing, so Siebold's up to 4th. Anderson is now in 5th. Lang is all the way up to 6th, and Prynn is behind him in 7th. So Lang, another 2 more points gained as a 24-point advantage on Johnson. But the dude is on a mission right now, putting down some supremely consistent lap times. And next up will be Sweden's finest, Mozart Anderson. And Siebold getting up from a crash, actually. So that is going to be Siebold now right in front of Lang. And gosh, it just takes so long to get going from those crashes. Like I said, momentum, momentum, momentum. That is all that matters on this track. You have something that kills your momentum, and it really, I mean, just really kills it. So now Lang trying to get up into the top 5. An absolutely ridiculous ride to go from 27th 4 laps ago to now knocking on the back door of a top 5 with more points still at play ahead of him to get. Siebold almost looping out, driving down to the finish line jump. And now we're also getting to the territory where Lang, if he starts making some of these passes, will gain 2 points with every pass instead of just the 1 that he has been gaining. As he runs 6th right now, he's going to pick up 15 points this moto. If he goes to 5th, it's up to 16 points this moto. But then after that, every position he gains will be a 2-point gain. As Anderson and Siebold get together, and there's going to be the points that Lang needed right there, actually. He's up to 4th now. That is 18 points in this moto. And now he's right back into a position where he's going to feel much more comfortable and confident about everything. Gonna lose 7 points. So it'll be a 27-point advantage in the championship if it stays this way. But still a huge amount of breathing room for him. Oh my goodness, heavy on the front wheel. And then not going to be able to clear this tabletop, so lands rear wheel heavy to get the power back down. Long shot up to Trevor Burns, and then Eaglin is weaving through lap traffic. Payson Johnson way out in front, and that is going to give us time to go ahead and do our top 20 rundown, brought to you by Tagger Designs this time. Tagger Designs is a great shop for you guys to go get your helmet custom painted if you'd like, or get it wrapped if you want something a little bit more on the affordable side, because the helmet paintings are, I think, over $1,000 for getting custom helmet paints. So want something a little bit more affordable, they do that as well. But really cool shop out here in Southern California. Bronson Gasparian, the son of Tagger Designs, used to race MX Simulator competitively. He was actually pretty good for a while, but then I think he wanted to get into the family business more, so he stepped away from sim. But still, Tagger Designs a big supporter here in MX Simulator, and we thank them very much for all their support. And they bring you this top 20 rundown. Payson Johnson leading on the number 351 Panini Motorsports Kawasaki, continuing his surge here in Lommel to try to take Tyler Lang's points lead down heading into the finale next week. Colby Eaglin, his teammate, runs second on the number 57 machine, looking to go 2-2. So it'd be a Panini Motorsports 1-2 podium sweep at the moment. Third is Trevor Burns, who apparently is a privateer outfit, although he's on the same team as Ethan Gerst, whatever team it is. I'm not sure what it is, but they don't seem to run their team names. So Trevor Burns, full-blown privateer out here, running in third, absolutely crushing it, and looking like he's having the ride of his life right now, just really enjoying this Lommel circuit. Putting in the motos. Nice to see. Tyler Lang up to fourth, lapping Dylan Love there on the 174. The MV Films number 49 rider, trying to gain as much points as possible to make his life much easier next week. Doing a good job of that so far. P5 for Nathan Prinn on the Panini Motorsports number 130, trying to reel back in Lang. Say something about that. Up in fourth, Jeremy Siebold, Rockstar Husqvarna number 39 machine, back into sixth. Ahead of Mozart Anderson on the Burr Moto 204. He's in seventh. Eighth right now for Ethan Gerst on the number 160. Again, privateer outfit, I suppose. Ninth for Dylan Cavacuti on the Takatoji number 177. And 10th for Braden Carter on the SwapMotoLive.com number 18. So it looks like Carter will indeed be mathematically eliminated from World Championship contention after this moto, leaving just two riders alive, Johnson and Lang out front. Casey Cochran runs 11th on the BPC number 266. 12th for Tyron Tomich on the Connect Visual 311. 13th for Cooper Hunt, privateer effort out here on the 304. 14th for Zoa Cross on the MXSoccer.com number 56. 15th for Lois Gorin on the Motorsport.com number 202. 16th for Jacob Hubbard on the VlastMX.com number 75. And 17th, Brandon Nygren on the privateer number 510 right behind him. 18th right now, but not for long as he goes down. So 18th is instead going to go to J.R. Reyes on the newly outfitted SwapMotoLive.com number 552. So Reyes switching teams. He just went down, though, so he was up to 18th. Plessinger is going to take that back on the Panini Motorsports number 23. And 19th, Chris Posty on the 319. Moves up to 19th. He's in front of J.R. Reyes, who rounds out our top 20. And that is a really quick top 20 rundown brought to you by the folks at Tagger Designs. Hit them up at TaggerDesigns.com today. Payson Johnson hopping and skipping his way through the rollers. Coming into click on to lap number 13 out front, and 23:30 on the clock right now. So time winding down here in the second moto, and it's happening again, folks. 9 seconds back. Colby Eagland just putting in consistent laps. 57.5, 56.5, just doing the same laps over and over again. And a 2:18.1 out of Johnson last time by. So clearly he's had some crashing problems once again. And as the track continues to roughen up, I think it might become a more prevalent issue later in the moto. As Johnson trying to find his way around lapped riders. Track obviously finding weird notches and bumps and holes in different spots. And at this point, if he does have that fall-off crash, he would fall back to the clutches of his teammate Eaglin, who's trying to win this overall today. Eaglin may have lost the war, but he's going to try to win the battle. And championship-wise, this would be pretty huge, actually, because Johnson losing these 3 points that he would be gaining on Lang right now, not exactly his ideal situation. Gap coming down by itself, actually, 8.1 seconds now, under 8 seconds. So Eaglin absolutely flying right now behind him, is bringing the gap down by himself. I wonder if Payson Johnson might have a look at his pit board and see that that gap has come down so much. It might make him think about it a little bit more. And if he starts pushing the envelope again, it really opens up the opportunity for those fall-off crashes to occur. Pulls him right up behind the 304 there of Hunt. Looks like he's trying to settle back in. Oh, Eaglin must have went down, 17-second lead. So just like that, Johnson can probably breathe a sigh of relief there. And this lap seems to be much better than whatever happened the last lap to give him that 218. Does a 158.7 that time by. So Eaglin was pretty much matching that pace, maybe a little bit better, and was really clawing some time back on this lap, but it really came unglued there. And he lost about 10 seconds exactly in that crash. So I'm curious to see. This time by, he's going to run a 207.4. So yeah, it would have been right in that 157.4 range again. Trevor Burns a 210.2 last time by, and Tyler Lang is closing up on Trevor Burns for third. We might have the exact same top three in this moto, which I definitely would not have guessed when Tyler Lang was in 27th 3 laps into this race. Full-blown implosion mode, it seemed, for Tyler Lang as he finds the trampoline in the ground right there, and then gets a little bit of front end lock. But no more implosion for him. He has seemed to corral it back together. Oh, Anderson down. Oh, and then gets ran over by Seabolt, and Nathan Prinn also went by as well. So a couple positions changed there. It was Anderson, Prinn, Seabolt. Now it's Prinn, Anderson, Seabolt back here. They'll continue on their little battle. Seabolt now finds himself rather alone back there. Dylan Cavacuti trying to keep Braden Carter from charging forward. Carter's up to 9th. And really, credit where credit's due for Carter. He's really actually putting on a good ride to come back from. We saw him at one point down in 20th, and he's up to 9th now. Just a good charge forward, and potentially going to move up into 8th before long. But on the flip side of it, when you were pretty much next to Tyler Lang at one point. Oh my goodness, that scrub was ridiculous. Is he going to complete the pass? Yes, he is. Wow, what a move. But back to my point, when you're pretty much with Tyler Lang at one point, and now Lang is potentially on the verge of going up into 3rd, it doesn't look as good to have this charge coming forward to get up inside of the top 10 that Carter has had, when Lang is pretty much outshining you in the same department as Carter shuts the door on Cavacuti coming onto the start straight there. And Zocross, down in 10th right now, so that's going to be Tyron Tomic going up inside of the top 10. Another good ride for Tomic as well, who was even further back of Lang at one point and now has found his way inside of the top 10. Good to see out of him. Anderson and Seabolt continue their never-ending battle. Nathan Prinn up the road, Tyler Lang well off the back of Trevor Burns now. So Lang must have went down. Yeah, 21 seconds back. He must have just had a horrendous lap that time. And now only 6 seconds back is Prinn. So the dream may be stopped here at P4, 2:12.6. Definitely not what he was looking for. Burnsy and Eagland. Yeah, 41 seconds down. So Johnson put on the afterburners of some kind, but he just got himself up from a crash. But Eagland is so far back from him. He was only 9 seconds down 2 laps ago. Is 41 seconds back now. And Johnson is down again in this corner. Casey Cochran and Dylan Cavacuti going by. Noah McLaughlin, Jonathan Alexander trying to find their way through. So mix of different guys on different laps right here essentially is what he's running into at this point. Casey Cochran and Dylan Cavacuti are right ahead of him right now. Tyron Tomic just went down and is now behind him. So yeah, Dylan Cavacuti is ahead of him and in 12th, I believe. And I think did he lap Plessinger? So where is Cavacuti right now? Cavacuti is 11th. So now everybody that is not in the top 10 has been put a lap down. As Payson Johnson continues taking prisoners. 29:50 on the clock right now, so this seems like it's a little bit of a slower race. Not running the exact same pace throughout the moto. And definitely going to hit the board next time by. Looks like Johnson's trying to put qualifying laps down again. It's just crazy to see the attack that he has on this track right now. It's just so beat up and so many corners and so many places, and he still is just charging through everything like it's nothing almost. Just because of how beat up the track is right now, it's definitely not going to be one of his better lap times overall, but still, you can see he's been gaining time on Eagland all the while. Having to split through a couple lap riders there. Gerst, he just put a lap down. I think Gerst is even inside of the top 10. Oh my goodness, Payson Johnson. Big kick right there. That'll get the heart rate going. And then sends it into this corner over the bars, so the true lap time that we would have seen there is not going to be shown, but 2-lap card coming out this time by for Johnson out front. Eagland still trying to give chase in second. Trevor Burns has got Eagland kind of in his sights now, only 8 seconds down of him. That'll be interesting. And then Tyler Lang has been trying to close back up on Burns, but just can't seem to get it all working the way he wants to at this point. Siebold, Prin, Anderson, Carter, Cavacuti, and Gerst inside of the top 10 right now. And there is Johnson lapping Ethan Gerst. 2-lap card out, like I mentioned. So things have pretty much settled down at this point. Not a ton of close battles happening. I got 2 questions in chat from Nicholas Russell, by the way. He says, is the Plessinger in this Aaron Plessinger's brother? Yes, Dalton Plessinger is Aaron Plessinger's younger brother. And Nicholas Russell also asked, also, is this track available yet? If not, when will it be? Yes, it is available. If you go down to the description below, there is a link to the track download. It'll send you to the MX Simulator forums where the track is. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the first post on that page, the very top post, you'll see the track Lommel available there. You just click on the picture, and it'll send you to a download page to get the track in whichever resolution that you want. So yes. Really yes to both questions. You asked, is the track available yet? And is Dalton Plessinger Aaron Plessinger's brother? Yes and yes. So Johnson out front going to pick up the white flag this time by as he goes down by the mechanics area. Oh, Pogo sticked his way off the track, so he ends up amongst the contingent of fans there. Now he finds his way up the hill and gets going. So that gap now back to his teammate Eagland as he takes the white flag out front. That gap, it will come down. It's not going to be massively so, but Eagland's definitely going to see it come down as he comes through this corner. It's down to 15 seconds, it looks like. They're about. Trevor Burns. Oh, man, and 2 seconds down was Lang of Burns. So Lang had actually caught Trevor Burns all the way up and then crashed just as he got there. So now as he gets going again, he's going to be 10 seconds down, and that might be finally his chance at getting third in this one, done and dusted. Not going to stop him from trying, though, and if Burns has another mistake on the last lap, Lang is going to try to be there to capitalize on it. Oh, but oh my goodness, how did Lang not go down right there? .1 seconds seems like it's kind of settling down now. Doesn't seem like Lang is going to quite be able to close it up on Burns. I mean, 10 seconds in one lap was an ask, but I figured maybe, just maybe, if Burns had a mistake or two, that it would flip. Oh, actually, Burns was down! Burns was down, and Lang is going by for third. Lang has taken over third place on the last lap. And instead, it'll be a 29-point advantage in the championship for Johnson. So all it means next week is if Lang finishes right behind Johnson in the moto, just one spot behind him, he is world champion, but he's got to hold off Trevor Burns. Burns is going to fight for this one because he's wanted this podium. He's held it the whole moto. Oh, but he just cut through the corner there. That might have spelled the end of it. Eagland trying to keep Johnson in check, but final corner for Payson out front. A 1-1 day for Payson Johnson trying to claw his way back into the championship. Payson Johnson wins the Belgian Grand Prix. Colby Eagland going to go 2-2 for second. And definitely think he would have hoped to have wrapped up the world title today, but as bleak as it was in this moto, I think Tyler Lang will happily take third in this one and still have a very realistic shot at winning the world title in the first moto next week at the finale. Tyler Lang comes over the finish line jump. He will go 3-3 for third overall, so our top three was identical in both motos. Big shout out Trevor Burns, though, man. Rode his heart out, almost was able to bring this thing home in third. He will take fourth in this moto, but nothing to hold his head low over right there. That is a fantastic result against some really terrific talent in this GP MX2 field. Going to beat the likes of Jeremy Siebold, Nathan Prinn, Mozart Anderson, Braden Carter, Dylan Cavacuti, Ethan Gerst, just a whole host of people. As Prinn finally gets remounted, Siebold crosses in fifth. It's going to be Anderson crossing in sixth. Prinn will cross in seventh. Carter will cross in eighth. Cavacuti trying to close up on him. He's in ninth. Ethan Gerst down here in 10th. And Tomic, the last guy on the lead lap, he is in 11th right now. Zoa Cross, first man a lap down. He was in 12th. 13th for Casey Cochran on the BPC number 266. Jacob Hubbard was 14th. 15th for Cooper Hunt. 16th for Lois Gorin. 17th for Brandon Nygren. 18th for J.R. Reyes. 19th for Seth Shirley. And 20th was Colt Hans. Final points paying position. Only 3.3 seconds ahead of Alex Kerr in the end. So for his sake, he's going to hope that those cuts don't come back to bite him. We got a... no, we do not have a battle to the finish line. I apologize. 10th is already crossed. Tomic just having a little bit of fun with whoever that is, a couple laps down. And who is way back here? This is Tyler Hockey, P25. Matching his number, but definitely not a moto he would like to remember. Oh, and then he gets lit up from off track. Somebody coming sideways right there. So Hockey slowly remounts, and finally realizes it's time to get going. I think that was Hubbard that came across the track. Not sure who it was. It looked like a Blast MX rider. So Hockey's going to come across. Let's take a look at cuts. Wow, no changes in cuts. So Payson Johnson confirmed 1-1 and a 29-point advantage in the championship for Tyler Lang going into the finale next week with only 2 riders still mathematically alive in the championship, Lang and Payson Johnson. Whew, crazy stuff in this MX2 class. All right, we're going to send it to a quick intermission. We'll be back right on the other side of this break with more action. You're watching the 2020 MXSGP of Belgium here on Start Your Systems.
Yeah.
welcome back to round 11 of the 2020 Race Factor Gaming Grand Prix Championship. It is the MXSGP of Belgium here tonight in Lommel, and we just had a fantastic MX2 race that saw the championship scenarios flip a little bit heading into the finale next week. But of course, Tyler Lang was your points leader entering, and he still is a points leader exiting, so no change there at the top. But this 450 standings has a little bit of a storyline tonight. Alexis Leclerc can clinch the world title here tonight, as he is currently 42 points up on Adam Holm and trying to mathematically eliminate Jack Haley from the championship. But here at the Lommel circuit, 1,880 meters in length. That is 1.17 miles, and we're about 45 miles outside of Brussels in Belgium, but we're actually very, very close to the German border on the eastern side of Belgium. So not too much central in Belgium, but a very, very sandy, classic sand circuit here at Lommel. As I'll take you for a quick lap around here. In and out of the first corner, a little over a 90-degree corner there, and then down this back straightaway, you're seeing a lot of guys triple out to the flat here and then carry momentum over this table. Want to swing outside and avoid all this chaos, this big braking bumps on the inside if possible. Swing back to the other side, and then get over this single, usually land out to flat here if possible as well, and then over the Tiger Designs table, big tabletop jump, throws you sideways as it gets rutted out on the face as the race continues to develop. Inside-outside options here, you're going to see guys hopping over that little split line there into this back section, and then carrying momentum all the way through these rollers, just deep sand all the way around the track. It's going to be a really tough track, tough conditions to deal with as the race goes on and the track gets more and more worn in. Through this little switchback section here in the center of the circuit, you got this kind of tight left 180 and then a very long right-hand 180-ish degree sweeper. Just carries momentum all the way through this corner around the outside. Then get on the gas hard and just carry it all the way down this next straightaway. Launch out, try to land over that last bump if possible, then double this one, and then just more speed all the way throughout. Again, you'll probably hop over to the left side and hit that big single on the left side and kind of triple the braking bumps into this corner. Go through this rut here. Carry speed back down by the mechanics area and just kind of double your way through the bumps again. To the inside, momentum carrying all the way through. Momentum huge on this track as you go over the ride365.com finish line jump. But you're not done yet. Still more lap to go before you get back to the start-finish line area. And the race tech table here in the back was not even a table. It's kind of a double, single-ish thing out to rollers. And again, just doubling the rollers through the back section. Traction at premium, so you got to keep that rear tire down and planted in the ground. Coming out of this bowl corner, a little double. And then left-right switchbacks. So seeing some guys have some big moments there in the MX2 division earlier tonight. Little tight hairpin-ish corner. And then a right-handed sweeper to see some guys triple those bumps. And then a double back onto the start straight. And that is a lap here at Lommel as we pull you guys out of this and open up the qualifying times instead. Chase to sell. Fastest 450 qualifier. Adam Holmes, second fastest. Walter Gebhardt, Alexis Leclerc, Austin Eklund inside of the top 5. We see Jack Haley down there in 12th, 154.9. Leclerc's 152.7 was 2 seconds faster than Haley. And remember, Haley, Holm trying to keep the championship alive here tonight. So Holm, 2/10 faster than Leclerc, trying to keep the championship alive as he is 42 points down in the championship. As we scroll down, it looks like 41 guys ran a lap. So I swear, Jeremy Kohenauer, if you don't let that 41st man in, I swear, we're going to have problems, sir. He'll probably let him in. Kohenauer's a good dude. So we're going to get ourselves loaded in here for MXGP class race number 1, most likely, because I don't think we're having a consi. Jonas Hallbauer wants to know, is it possible to get this track in MX Bikes? I think so. I think somebody made this track in Bikes. Just check out the MX Bikes forums. All right, we are loading in. Loading, loading. Don't worry, we'll get in eventually. We'll make it happen, Captain. I promise. Nicholas Russell asks, is there a Discord for people who need help improving? There are a couple Discords you could try. The one I would recommend is you could go to startyoursystems.com, and we have a link to our Discord on that page. Just message anyone in general, and in that general chat, usually there's people that are helpful there that would respond to you. I know oftentimes we have Jesse Mulak and Ghost, and I think Joseph Pilsner is even posted in there from time to time. And they can be helpful. They can also be harsh sometimes, I suppose, but hopefully they're helpful to you. And if I'm around, I would be happy to answer any questions you have as well. You can always message me through there. But you could also join the Race Factory Discord, which I think is linked somewhere on their racefactory.com, racefactorygaming.com website. I know the Sim Bros have a Discord, and they're usually pretty helpful guys too. So a couple different places you could check out. As we get loaded back into the server, and let's hope it is MXGP Race 1 on the line and not a consolation race. Yes, it's MXGP Race 1 on the line. Things you love to see. Alrighty. Ethan Parks running my bike. What are you doing? That's my bike, Ethan. Freaking trip test guy. Let's see. Well, Adam Holmes trying to keep his title hopes alive. Alexis Leclerc is trying to clinch the world title here tonight. And Leclerc can do so with both moto wins, and Holm finishing third or worse in one of the motos. If Holm gets second and third and Leclerc wins both motos, Leclerc is the world champ. So we're going to find out right now how it's all going to shake down in Belgium, ladies and gentlemen. Riders load into the gate. JLV's got that 30 card up. He's going to turn it sideways, and we are going to be set to go racing here. As we are off and running in Belgium, and of course, Alexis Leclerc gets a great jump, but Caden Speck is trying to out-jump him. Kohenauer might get to the corner first. Oh, and a huge crash in the background. Kohenauer does indeed get to the corner first, and he just beats out Aaron Rockefeller for the Racetech.com Whole Shot Award. It's Jeremy Kohenauer, RacefactorGaming.com president, with the Whole Shot Award. It is Bobby DeSell, NLE Glizzy, so he forgot to change his name, but I saw that in chat beforehand, so I know it's DeSell in second, and it's your fastest qualifier, DeSell, who's going to try to go to the race lead. I know in the past, Race Factory disqualified some people for improper naming convention. I would not go that far if I were them. I know that this is to benefit me, because on the stream it looks ridiculous when these guys refuse to change their name. But if he wins the moto, I say just dock him points. Either way, Gebhardt right up there in second. Caleb Hall in third. Adam Holm right there in fourth. Castellaneta is in fifth. And Lewis Williams right there in sixth. Finally got Lewis Williams' correct bike. He was on the swapmotolive.com KTM up until this week. And he was running, I guess, his teammate's number 330. Is that, I guess, Hunter Root's bike? Or I don't know who that was. Anyway, he was running that bike for a long time. Finally, this Impact team came up and said, hey, dude, we want you to be on your own bike. And so now he is on his own bike. Fun facts of the week. Leading him through lap number one, Bobby DeSell on the 341 machine. He's got Walter Gebhardt breathing down his neck. Gebhardt's going to try to make short work of him because he has been hot of late, has Gebhardt. These 450s just carry so much more speed through those rollers. Double, triple through there instead of the double that the 250 riders are having to do. Gebhardt blows the inside. Oh, Williams was up to third and then goes down. Oh, and then Gonzalez crashes in the same spot. As mentioned, we saw a lot of these MX2 guys getting all misshapen through there. So in that mix, we saw Leclerc. We also saw Jack Haley, who, by the way, still has a shot at the world title as well. Wow, Leclerc just goes up and absolutely kills Jake West early in the race for that kind of maneuver, but I guess Leclerc is on a mission tonight. Caden Speck going down. And Yamaha right, it's Cole Gress on the Mad Cape Yamaha that hit the deck as well. So some more guys crashing early on. And JT George just went down too, so everybody's hitting the deck. Find some normalcy here in this mid-pack battle. Alex Carlo trying to give chase to Aaron Rockefeller. Leclerc is going after Cohenauer inside of Cohenauer and just nestles him out of the way there. Next up would be Braden Castellaneta on the 221 Nova GFX ride. Is he still 221? No, he's 122 on his pit board, so he keeps loading into these races with number 122, but then running a 221 bike. I don't get it. Braden Castellaneta, I don't get it. Caleb Hall, just ahead of him in P4. Adam Holm is up to third, so doing everything he can to keep this championship alive. And a reminder, in case you weren't with us last week at the MXSGP of Czechia, Leclerc elected right in the middle of the season to drop down and race the MX2 class in Czechia. So for some reason, he didn't want to wrap up the title 2 weeks early because he had a chance at actually wrapping up the World Championship last weekend. Didn't elect to do so. And instead, Adam Holm went out and dominated, is putting it lightly, at Lockett. 1-1 performance. And now has himself in a position where he's still going to be mathematically alive for this world title to the very end if all else stays the same. But we have got a lot of racing to happen before we get to that point, and it's still Bobby DeSelle out in front of Walter Gebhardt. So Gebhardt just giving chase here. Trying to close up on DeSelle. Good battle brewing for the lead here as Gebhardt looks like he's really got a bit between the teeth here as he's trying to close up on DeSelle. DeSelle looks like he maybe made a small mistake there on corner entry, but corrected it and may have actually pulled out a little bit of a gap on the number 5 machine now of Gebhardt as we go on board and do a quick lap time check here early. 53.5 for Gebhardt, 52.5 for DeSelle out front. So literally exactly 1 second lap faster. A 56.5 for Adam Holm, and Leclerc lays down a 54.8 for Leclerc, and you can see top 4 are already really separating themselves from the rest of the field as DeSelle gets a little kick through those braking bumps once again. Oh man, and they ride that rear wheel and then just get that last little kick on the bumps. Sometimes you're like, whew. Look at DeSelle launching to the 4th one and then just sending the table out and then getting out of shape in the bumps. So just Gebhardt, who had made a couple mistakes, now has to settle in right behind him. They both scrub the table very nicely. Gebhardt's trying to get to the inside here. Not able to do it just yet. Then again, they cross over. Huge error for DeSelle, and Gebhardt takes advantage to go to the lead. DeSelle, he has actually gone down off the bike, so Adam Holm is going to try to take advantage and move around him as Dsell just gets going. Adam Holm has the momentum on his side here up the hill. He's going to pull up right alongside of him. He's going to try to square off to the inside. But no can do just yet. Holm has to settle in behind him. And peeking up in the background is you'll see a flash of white here in just a moment as we work our way through some of these corners. But on the longer shots, you'll see Leclerc sneaking into the background. There he is, just back there. You can see him. He's coming. Adam Holm is going to have Leclerc coming up behind him before long. And the laps that Leclerc is running, it is going to be very soon. Man on the number 7 Rockstar Husky again, trying to clinch this world championship tonight. Pretty much, I think, on his mind, all he really cares about is going 1-1 and letting the tiles fall where they may be. That lap looked ridiculous, though, and it was a 52.6 out of Leclerc in the lead. He is absolutely flying right now. Yeah, 3.23, that is a legit line. It's so amazing sometimes when you watch Leclerc how much more traction he gets out of the corners. It just seems like he's almost riding a different bike to these guys sometimes. And that checking up just to get the triple. Carry speed to do the table cleanly. And these guys elect to go to this inside line, which the MX2 guys were just refusing to do. They just didn't like that line whatsoever. So now Leclerc closing up on his counterpart in this championship, Adam Holm, and he cannot clinch it in this moto. There's still going to be 75 points on the table after this moto, so even if things went perfectly for Leclerc and Holm got no points, Leclerc won, still is not enough to clinch the world title, but it definitely sets himself up very well to potentially clinch it in the second moto if that were to happen. I think at this point, though, he's just trying to get up and pass Holm. They're already into some lap traffic. Holm, a little mistake. Leclerc getting everything much cleaner, and he's already right behind the number 1 there. Oh, look at how much lower he stayed right there. Takes a look on the inside. Well, that was a lot more gentle by Leclerc than we saw some of the other passes that he made to get to this point. He really wanted to, given some of the passes he had made. He could have just absolutely plowed Adam Holm. Backs up the 52.6 with a 52.5. And yeah, I think Leclerc is absolutely flying right now. Seems like it's Dsell that's backed up right in front of these guys still. Gebhardt's opened up that lead. We get a different line from Holm here. Goes inside, Leclerc around the outside. That's a power move by Leclerc to take the spot away, and Holm trying to fight back. Remember, these two have a history. Now, does Holm try to take matters into his own hand a little bit here and just put Leclerc on the ground? Well, not going to have a chance. Leclerc out of here. Opens up a small gap already on Adam Holm. And next up, he's going to try to go after Dsell. Gebhardt's still leading. Holm trying to keep tabs on him. Caleb Hall is still in 5th. Blakely is 6th. Mills is in 7th. Castaneda is in 8th. Magnetti is in 9th. Kevin Gonzalez right now rounding out the top 10. Austin Bear runs 11th. Jack Haley, whom I've heard is putting down ridiculous laps, 52.6. Yeah, just the same as Leclerc. But Haley's kryptonite all year long, not only in GPs, but in the national championship as well, has been starts. No starts to speak of for Jack Haley, and it is absolutely killing him. I feel like if I was Jack Haley's teammate or trainer or friend or anything, I would tell him next season if he wants to contend for this championship, he's got to go figure out starts. I don't know how he does it. He's got to practice them. He's got to find a setting that works, something. But right now, it is just not quite going the way he wants it to off the start every time, and that is a huge detriment to him. 11 minutes into the moto, P11 for him. So Leclerc now sets his sights on Bobby Dsell. And Leclerc, his pace out front, 52.7. Oh my goodness, Gebhardt laying down a 50.8. Walter Gebhardt flying here in Lommel. What is he doing different? My goodness. How can you go that much faster right now? Gebhardt's working his way through some lap traffic. That's not going to work. No way. And I don't know if there's going to be any rule stipulation about cutting across the middle barrier there. But yeah, that was absolutely Gebhardt's fault because he crossed over as a rider was coming, and now suddenly we got a battle for the lead on our hands as DeSalle right there on Gebhardt trying to chase him for the lead. And remember, Leclerc pretty close behind these guys. Or at least he was. Not sure, maybe he's fallen back a little bit, but DeSalle definitely right there in it with a chance. Yeah, it looks like Leclerc may have fallen back a little bit. I wonder if he went down. So DeSalle trying to take over the lead. Look at this, hopping into the corner. Doesn't work out though, too much time spent in the air there. And Gebhardt holds the spot for the time being, so Leclerc still is back there. I can see Holm. So our top four separated by about a straightaway. Mechanic straightaway there. Different lines. But they work out to do pretty much the exact same thing, so not much difference in it. Oh, DeSalle! Oh, he's on the bike still. That might cost him it, though. There, Leclerc coming. Yeah, well, definitely going by now. Leclerc should... Maybe, did he not go by? Wow, Leclerc, what happened to Leclerc? Oh, he's down at the end of the straightaway, too. So Leclerc off the end of the straightaway, the same spot that DeSalle went down, and Holm is going to go up to second. So it was looking really good for Leclerc there for about a half a second where he was going to make up some passes and put some people between himself and Holm. Completely flipped here after Leclerc went off the track. So Gebhardt's still out front. Holding steady. It is Holm in second with DeSalle in third. And Leclerc drifts back to fourth. Daniel Mills is put on the charge up to fifth. Blakely is in sixth. Caleb Hall is in seventh. Magnetti, Castellaneta, and, well, lapped rider. I thought it was Gonzalez. I'm not sure who it was, actually. It might be one of the Hemlock riders. Got a little good three-rider battle here. Castellaneta trying to close up and apply some pressure on Luke Magnetti. Magnetti in his own right, though. Would like to get around Caleb Hall, and Magnetti has been fantastic of late in the Grand Prix scene. Challenging for podiums, launching out to flat here, too. Getting right up there behind Caleb Hall. He's going to be a little short on the table, and he just saved himself from going over the bars there. Oh, and they just went around, or no, never mind. I thought that was one of those riders in a position that was battling for points. Never mind. So anyway, back to it. Hall and Magnetti. Magnetti inside. That's going to be easily done in the end. Hall just kind of blew the rut and gave it to him. Oh, don't go through the front door there, Caleb. See that little kick, and then you see the body kind of like the bike hump, if you will, where he kind of flicks the body back, and then you just hear the panic rev, and you're like, oh, man, it's the worst feeling in this game when that happens, because it just, you know, the inertia's going forward, the momentum's going forward, and you're just hoping you get to the ground before you go too far forward. So Magnetti gets that spot. He's going to try to tail after his teammate Blakely up the road. Blakely's working on going after Mills. And it looks like DeSalle has lost touch with Adam Holm. Gebhardt's still well and truly out front. DeSalle just went down. Is Leclerc going to avoid him? He's in a tough spot right there. Oof, Leclerc just to the right side of him. And Leclerc now up into third. Let's find ourselves another battle here. Actually, while we're at it, let's do a top 20 rundown. It'll tell us where the battles are because we're halfway through this moto. 16 minutes gone, 14 minutes and 2 laps still to go. And this top 20 rundown is brought to you by the folks at Moto Option Clothing, motooptionclothing.com, title sponsor of the Moto Option Clothing Supercross Series. And great apparel over there. I've got some stuff from Moto Option because I enjoy it. It's really good stuff. They've supported the series for a long time. So you should too. Head over to motooptionclothing.com today. Get yourself dialed in with all kinds of apparel, beanies, hats, wristbands. They've got wallets. I think they've got umbrellas. They've got towels. They've got bikinis. They've got a ton of stuff over there at Moto Option. So go over there. They bring you this top 20 rundown brought to you by, Moto Option Clothing. Walter Gebhardt leads Panini Motorsports number 5 out front, wheeling his way away from Adam Holm on the number 1 atom.com machine, trying to some way, somehow defend his world title this year with his late push in the season to claw it back away from Leclerc. Alexis Leclerc sits in third on the Rockstar Husqvarna number 7. Fourth for Bobby DeSell, who's coming a bit apart here at this stage of the race. Needs to regroup, but he's on the number 341 machine. And right behind him now, P5, is Daniel Mills on the Jack Daniels Racing number 44. And right behind him in 6th, although making a mistake there, is Chase Blakely on the BPC number 21. Trying to get a move on again. Luke Magnetti, his teammate, on the 107 machine, runs in 7th. 8th for Caleb Hall on the Nova GFX machine. Oh, big kick there. He's in 8th. Jack Haley's moved up to 9th on the Jack Daniels Racing number 6. And 10th right now, Braden Castaneda, Nova GFX is down. So he will stay there on the 221 machine. 11th for Kevin Gonzalez on the number 3 atom.com ride. 12th for Austin Bear on the Hemlock Hat Co. number 37. 13th for Jeremy Koenar on the MV Films number 13. And 14th, his teammate Isaiah Dickerson on the MV Films number 260. Looks like he's riding a 250F. I think he's actually riding a 350. He's going to pass his teammate up right there. Ethan Parks getting slideways on the SYS FAMX Racing number 96. I predicted he would go 12-8 tonight. Well, he's going to move back up to 15th as Dylan Long on the TG number 117 just went down. I don't have his bike this week. That's unfortunate. Reed Young on the Tegrity number 42 is going to get going. He's going to be right next to Dylan Long, and he makes that pass. So that's going to be Reed Young moving up into 17th. Long drops back to 18th. Dylan Copeland on the number 14 Taggart Designs machine is now 19th. And 20th is Lewis Williams on the Impact number 193. That's a top 20 rundown brought to you by Taggart Designs. Not really sure where the battles are anymore. Oh, Caden Speck just went down. Dickerson closing up on Austin Bear. See if Dickerson might size up a pass here fairly quickly. Coming up on the 20-minute mark of this moto. Bear a little out of shape, unfortunately for Dickerson. This is a rather one-line section of the track. If you're in that one line, it's hard to pass. Dickerson makes a mistake. Bear gets away unscathed. Kevin Gonzalez and Braden Castaneda in a bit of a fight. Looks like Gonzalez may have just passed him, and that would have moved him up into 10th. Yeah, 10th for Gonzalez. Castaneda trying to fight back down the inside. Doesn't quite work for him. Caleb Hall ahead of these guys. Oh, Haley hit the deck. So Haley's going to drop back to 9th. Caleb Hall goes up to 8th. Magnetti still in 7th. Although Blakely just had a huge mistake, and his teammate Magnetti is going to be right there with him now. So the drive by Magnetti down the straightaway, trying to pull up alongside his teammate. Around the outside. Back to the inside for Magnetti. This might be the pass done. And it is. Magnetti getting around Blakely for 6th. Blakely having a couple problems there. Almost landed on a lapped rider that was down. D-Mill's still in 5th. Purcell is 4th. Leclerc is 3rd. And Holm still is in 2nd. Gebhardt has a nice lead established. So Leclerc closing up on Holm seems to be our battle to watch right here. 1 second in it. And Leclerc 2:01.5, so he must have actually just gone down. I wonder if he was probably ahead of Adam Holm, maybe. Yeah, Holm just laid down a 51.9, so he was actually ahead of Holm and then went down, I think. Okay, Leclerc now cutting to the inside. We saw Holm try that earlier, and Leclerc just went around the outside of him, so Leclerc seemingly pretty comfortable trying many different lines. Does that triple around the corner, almost gets kicked over the bars there. But even Leclerc, sometimes when you think it's all about to go awry, he still finds a way to pull that bike back underneath of him. A little bit long there on the triple. Oh, and Leclerc down. Wow, Lexus Leclerc hitting the deck. I don't believe DeSalle is close enough to pass him. He's just going to get there as Leclerc gets going. So no, he was not close enough to pass him. But Leclerc not having it really all his way this time in the sands of Lommel. So just like what we saw out of Lang trying to clinch the world title early tonight, didn't quite work out. Leclerc, wow, actually Adam Holm just went down, and that completely flips the script already. So Leclerc moving up to second and Holm back to fourth is a 4-point gain in the championship. And remember, needs to be 50 points ahead. He had a 42-point lead. So that's a 46-point lead as it runs. Try to keep you updated on the gap. Leclerc, I think, ideally wants to win this race, but Gebhardt is pretty dang far out front right now. So we'll keep an eye on this battle as DeSalle trying to deal with some lap traffic. And Leclerc went down. Oh, Leclerc hits the deck just as he had it kind of settled the way he wanted it to in this moto. Hits the deck and now suddenly is surrounded by lappers. I mean, literally in a swarm of them here. And he's trying to go back around. Not sure who that is actually. 257. Is that August Sanders out here tonight? Whoever it is, it went down. So Leclerc back to the drawing board while Adam Holm seeks blood in the water. He is trying to go after DeSalle for second. And that would flip it upside down again. So if Holm could go around DeSalle, 4 points gained in the championship. Not huge, but pulls it down to 38 points. Could be worse. And I'll tell you what, it's at least good to see that Holm isn't going down without a fight. Is that DeSalle going down? It was DeSalle going down, and Holm landed on him, and he's stuck on him. Is Leclerc going to get there in time? Leclerc is just coming over, and he just avoids DeSalle, but that moves Holm up into second. Leclerc up to third now, and suddenly they're set to have a bit of a battle amongst each other here for this 2 spot. I wonder if Leclerc just doesn't maybe want to pass Holm just yet, though. He wants to wait for an opportunity to get a good gap on him. I don't think Holm is at the point still where he wants to put Leclerc down. But anything for a championship. We saw Leclerc put Adam Holm down on the ground for a championship, so I think these guys are cool with each other now, though. There was no love lost for a long time. There was, I want to talk about MX Simulator beef. There was some real hot beef between these two. Holm, at least for the time being, keeping the Frenchmen at bay as they go down by the mechanics there, and you can see this track is getting just absolutely torn to bits. As Lewis Williams right behind Leclerc found the trampoline at the end of the straightaway. So Leclerc 55.3 last time by to the 2 flat 4 out of Holm. They're 30 seconds down to Gebhardt, so Gebhardt quite literally has this race about as wrapped up as it can be. Although we saw in the first, in the MX2 races earlier tonight, that isn't a foregone conclusion either. And Holm down, Leclerc back up into second. Reed Young being lapped by them there. And again, Holm has to go back to the drawing board as DeSalle closes up on him. This has just been musical chairs for 2, 3, and 4 on the racetrack since pretty much the halfway point of this race. It has just continued on. There's been crashing, there's been passing, and nobody seems like they want to settle it just yet. Riders down as DeSalle has to avoid them, and Leclerc was avoiding them as well, but it's actually, it must have been, Holm was down. He was down twice. I'm sorry, we completely missed it. But wow, suddenly Daniel Mills has gone by Adam Holm, and Holm is down to 5th. He's got to go get D Mills. And DeSalle just got it from a crash right in front of D Mills. Leclerc is literally all alone in 2nd, and he goes down. What is happening in Belgium right now? Leclerc, as soon as he finally has some breathing room here, hits the deck again, and suddenly here comes DeSalle, here comes Mills, and Adam Holm has lost a lot of ground to this group suddenly. So DeSalle now suddenly right behind Leclerc. Mills suddenly out of nowhere has a shot at 2nd. And all unbeknownst to him out front, Walter Gebhardt has almost opened up a full minute lead. Leclerc trying to just avoid the lap traffic chaos at this point. Oh my goodness. That little kick there. Sketchy. And then Leclerc gets hung up on the rut. So DeSalle goes back through. And Mills also went around Leclerc, I believe. And there's still lap traffic everywhere right now. Yeah, Mills is in front of these guys. He's up to 3rd. So Leclerc trying to dive through lap traffic. Oh my goodness. And Holm is still peeking in back there. I mean, this is some of the thickest lap traffic we've seen in a while. 2 minutes left right now. Adam Holm sensing opportunity, perhaps. Oh, Daniel Mills getting up sideways in the track just allowed Leclerc back through to 3rd. Holm now to 4th, but Mills trying to go back through on him as they're still trying to go around this lap traffic. Mills almost alongside of Holm on the table. Gonna try this outside line. It is not better. But just trying to switch up his line a little bit. So 5-second gap for DeSalle to Leclerc. Leclerc 2 seconds ahead of these guys. You can see him just going over the hill. And then Holm and Mills right in tow there. This is intense action between these guys. Seems like as soon as it settles down, and you kind of get an idea of where everybody is on the track, it all kicks off again as now Mills goes down again. So he went from 5th up to 3rd, right back to 5th, and lost a lot of ground. Oh, and Blakely had almost got the pass done on Hall, and he went down. So back at it again. Leclerc still having problems with that rut. And Holm has a great run now to try to catch up to him. Coming up to that 30-minute mark awfully quick, and suddenly DeSalle kind of alone in 2nd again. So Leclerc going through the wave section here. Just trying to keep his wits about him. Not overthink the moment. And settle into a pace that will get him into a position to attack for 2nd in this race. Still can see DeSalle ahead of him. He's only 3 seconds down. And Holm is just trying to match him here. 1.3 seconds. Foregone conclusion at this point, really, that Walter Gebhardt's going to win this moto. 30 minutes come and gone. 2-lap board coming out this time by for Gebhardt. But all eyes on this intense action here. 2, 3, 4, and 5 have been giving us. Holm trying to close right up again to Leclerc. Just make the number 7 machine think that he's back there. Oh, Adam Holm. I think Leclerc is absolutely catching DeSalle as well. 3-second gap. DeSalle having to deal with some lap traffic. Is that DeSalle down? No, it was Lewis Williams who was down. But that gap kind of reset itself again, so 2.8 seconds now. DeSalle still looking like he's right in front of this lap traffic, so he's getting away now. 3 seconds. Adam Holm 3 seconds back of Leclerc, so it's opened up a little bit. 2-lap board out. Things settling down. Mills back in 5th. Blakely is 6th. Caleb Hall running in 7th. Magnetti runs in P8. Braden Castaneda flipping across the track in 9th. And Isaiah Dickerson will say thank you very much, Mr. Castellaneta. I will take P9 from you. And Castellaneta now gets going up in 10th. So everything kind of settling itself throughout the rest of the field. Oh, DeSalle. Oh, DeSalle is behind Leclerc and Holm again. So something happened to DeSalle after the finish line jump, or right after we cut away. He must have gone down. Leclerc back up to 2nd. Holm still lurking back there behind him now, but in 3rd, and DeSalle behind them both in 4th. So there is still yet more drama to be unfolded here. As Gebhardt, as mentioned, took the 2-lap board last time by. Should get the white flag any moment here now. Holm do himself a huge favor here to hold on and bring this thing home in 3rd. At the very least, losing those 2 more points would be crushing for him. As Gebhardt checks in out front, white flag is waving. And it looks like Holm's pretty safe now. 11-second gap back to DeSalle. So if the reality is here that he probably is free to push after Leclerc if he wants to, but he's got to lay down some absolute burners. Some of the best laps of his career right here need to happen. It is so tough to catch Leclerc on raw speed alone. You sometimes need to wait for those mistakes to happen, but that waiting game kind of goes out the window when we get this late into the race and you know you're running out of time and your opportunities are limited. You have to push the envelope. You have to rise to his pace. And wow, man, Adam Holm looks like he might just well be doing that. Whew, flying into that corner. 1.8 seconds down, lays down a 54.7 to a 55.6, so he did go faster than Leclerc that last lap. Have to wonder, though, if Leclerc sees the time dropping or notices that Holm is closing up again, if he steps it up a little bit. But then maybe that forces him into a mistake. So maybe that's Holm's plan here a little bit, right? Just keep the pressure on. Just make Leclerc think about you a little bit. Oh, that's not going to help, though. Kind of get hung up on that rut. Got to ride her down, but it's a lapped rider. Holm carrying so much speed through these corners. Launching out to flat, corrals it back together. Meanwhile, up front, 1 corner to go, and he's going to almost crash in it too as well. Walter Gebhardt dominates MXGP Race 1 here in Belgium. Huge win for Walter Gebhardt. And the battle for 2nd continues. Holm trying to get as close as he can, maybe cuts too. You never know, but I think he might try to just size up for a pass. Oh, this is going to be so close as Holm is right on Leclerc. Look at the speed the number 1 is carrying. He almost got into his rear wheel. He's that close. Tries to square him off to go to the inside. Loses a lot of ground right there. Leclerc launches out to flat. And Holm might have cost himself his opportunity. Lapped rider in the way. Leclerc cannot send it in here. Holm can. And he's going to get right up there, and he goes down. Oh, man. Had he stayed close, it could have been cuts. But it's not going to matter as Leclerc will come across the line. He is going to take 2nd in this moto. Holm gets going still ahead of DeSalle by a ways, so he's going to be perfectly fine in 3rd. But the gap will now be 44 points, and Leclerc, with a chance to clinch the world title next moto, needs Holm to finish 4th if Leclerc were to win the race. To do so, DeSalle, valiant effort to try to land on the podium. He will end up 4th. And Daniel Mills, a very quiet 5th as Blakely gave it one last go on Caleb Hall, but fell a little bit short there as he literally fell off the machine. So Hall will bring it home in 6th. Blakely is going to be totally okay there in 7th. And P8, last man on the lead lap, is Luke Magnetti. So Castellaneta brought it home in 9th. He was a lap down. 10th for Austin Bear. 11th for Kevin Gonzalez. 12th for Jeremy Kohnauer. I was almost right on the money, Ethan. I said 12-8 would be your scores today. He finishes 13th in the first moto, so maybe he's going to go 13-9. 14th for Dylan Long. 15th for Dylan Copeland. 16th was Williams, 17th Reed Young, 18th Cale Braden, 19th was Jake West, and 20th was Isaiah Dickerson. Looks like cuts did not affect those guys. Anybody else affected by cuts? No, stayed the same. And just for my reference, Leclerc had 0.19 seconds of cuts there. So Leclerc 0.19 seconds of cuts. Holm would have needed to be less than 2 tenths away from Leclerc at the flag to get him on cuts. So it wouldn't have mattered in the end anyway. All right. A little bit of a break here. We got a 5-minute intermission. If you guys have any questions in chat that you'd like to ask me, now would be your time to do so. I am sitting here watching and waiting. If you guys have anything you'd like to ask me, I am here. And we can talk about whatever you want. Absorbit says, "How was your day been? Or how has your day been? My day has been pretty good, I would say. Just nice long day put in at Racer X. Took about an hour to myself to hang out with my wife and my family a little bit, and then right back into the grind of getting ready for the stream. And now I'm streaming. So good day so far. How's your day been, Zorbit? You having a good day, good sir?" Okay, alrighty then. Anybody got questions? We got 111 people here. Nobody's got questions? Anything you want to talk about? Anything at all? Oh, that's good to hear, Zorbit. Glad you're having a good time, buddy. Brandon Hanaway wants to know, what do you think about Tomac being this far down in the points already? Yeah, I have a review video coming out for the Loretta Lynn's 2 National tomorrow that I'll kind of highlight some of my thoughts on it, but I think it's not as bad as it looks. Like, being 40 points down the championship is oof at this stage, but it's not like he's 40 points down to Roxon or Muscan or Webb. And not saying Osborne is bad, but Osborne has never been in this situation before. He's never had the 450 points lead, much less had a big points lead in the 450 class. So because of that, I think, like, hold your horses a little bit. I think he's still okay, but we'll see. Maybe after Ironman, I'll change my tone. Justin George says, hey, Kellen, have you thought about doing a rider profile on screen like they do for IRL races? Yeah, I mean, I could do that, but the problem with that is I would then have to, like, put the rider profiles on the screen, like, myself. Like, I'd have to click them on. I don't have a producer running this thing for me. I'm doing all the producing myself, so switching from the qualifying page to the pre-intro thing to the camera that I'm on. Like, see, like, if I wanted to switch to me, this is me switching to me right now. So, like, I have to kind of do that myself. I don't have somebody doing it for me, unfortunately. I wish I did, but I don't. So because of that, it's a little bit harder to kind of do. But eventually, I think, you know, hopefully I can get a producer or at least a second person here that can help out a little bit with stuff like that. Because it's a good idea. I like it. The Reed 34 wants to know, Kellen, how was Fevre able to win his 2015 championship, and what has happened since to make him unable to match that? Fevre won his 2015 championship because he's a damn good rider, in my opinion. But really speaking, he won it because he ran into a lot of injuries that year. Cairoli got hurt. Yeah, who else? I mean, not Geyser. Desal always got hurt. Van Horbeek, I think, also got hurt. Nagel got hurt. And Villapoto got hurt. Like, all the guys that could have contended with Fevre that year were hurt at some point during the season. And Fevre was great. Like, you cannot say Fevre wasn't one of the top 3 riders in the world that year. He absolutely was. He was ridiculously good, straight up catching and passing American riders on American soil. He was ridiculous. But I think what's happened since is he has gotten all the injuries that those guys had that year. He's gotten these big, broken leg, broken collarbone, concussion. He just has gone through a gamut of injuries. So his speed has... the speed and the comfort level that he had that year has detracted, because what happens with these guys, I think, is they go really, really fast for as long as they can go really, really fast, and then they hit the ground hard once, and then they slow it down like 3 notches. And I think that's exactly what happened to Fevre. Like, we saw that with Tomac. Stupid fast on the Honda, hits the ground hard once, and then has a horrible year at Kawasaki before he finally gets the ball rolling and things are going much better in 2017. So, like, I mean, I get it. Like, they have to kind of work themselves back to a pace, but I think that's kind of what you see out of them. Any events to attend towards end of the year IRL? I mean, I don't think I'm going to any. If the Paula National happens here, I might go to it, but the media isn't really allowed to do much in the pits. I know we're allowed to interview some riders now, but it's still very limited, so it's not like it's a huge thing that we can go do. But other than that, there's not. I know the AusSX Open is still trying to run, and the Australian Supercross Series are still trying to gather stuff together, but I still don't think it's going to happen, so I don't think we're going to send people over there, and not a lot going on. Well, we had rider introductions in Supercross, although I didn't do them this year, but I've done them every year before that. But rider on-screen graphics are a whole nother thing. The meaning of life is to enjoy the time that we have here, because we don't have a lot of time in the grand scheme of things. What's a day in the life with Kellen? Should do a Kellen B a day in the life. I try to do vlogs. I really do. I went to the track this weekend. I raced over the weekend, and I tried to vlog, and I'm just not fun, I guess. I don't know. Like, I should just do them and upload them and see if people catch on to them. But, like, when I upload videos of myself, and I've uploaded some vlogs before, like going mountain biking and stuff like that, and people don't gravitate towards it that much. So, anyway. I'll do some more vlogging. I gotta force myself to do it. I really do. All right, ladies and gentlefish, time to go racing. Last moto of the night, MXGP Race 2. Leclerc trying to clinch a world title. Let's see if he can do it here in Lommel, as we are off and running in Belgium. Gate down, Leclerc, another good jump. He's going to try to hold off Kohenauer this time. He will beat Kohenauer, but he will not beat Caden Speck. Maybe he does. He sends it in on the inside. He is not going to get the whole shot. Instead, he goes down. And it's Lewis Williams with the Race Tech Whole Shot Award. Kohenauer immediately takes over the race lead from him. And Leclerc picking himself up in the background. Looks like he got through there in about 12th. But it is Kohenauer leading the way again. 2 good starts for the 13 machine. He knows how to get out front in these. Oh, Lewis Williams almost landed on his back. How did Lewis Williams ride out of that? Are you kidding me? So he jumps on right behind Gebhardt. We got Steve Harris up here as well. Steve Harris, who just asked me that question about a day in the life with Kellen B, is in 3rd in this race right now. But it is Caden Speck still leading. And I think he may have gotten to that whole shot if he didn't get outbraked by Leclerc. I think he was trying to have a bit of an outbraking war with Leclerc, and Leclerc drove it in deep. So Speck tried to drive it in deep with him, and they both blew the apex. So Racetrack hole shot goes to Lewis Williams, but it's Speck out front. And Gebhardt, see him back there in about P5. Remember, he's trying to go 1-1 on the day. He's playing a little bit of a spoiler role tonight. So where is defending champion Adam Holm? Oh, I see him. Actually, he just went down in the background. He was maybe about 15th, and he went down. And Speck is going to lead us through at the end of lap number 1. He's got Kohenauer hot on his heels. Williams up into 3rd. Gebhardt 4th. Rockefeller, Harris, Hall, Mills, and then Leclerc. Parks, Haley, Bear, Dickerson, Gonzalez, Heagney. One of BPC riders just went by as well. And DeSalle, Ian Holm, and then Adam Holm coming over. Adam Holm is back in 19th right now. Guess the fortunate news for atom.com machine is everybody is still super bunched together, and he has the opportunity to start making some quick passes here, which is exactly what he is going to try to do. Meanwhile, Leclerc up here in 7th. If it finished exactly like this, would be your world champion right now. Oh, big over the bars crash there. Is that Steve Harris, perhaps? Let's see who exactly it was. Caleb Hall, just ahead of Leclerc. Another good start to Caleb Hall's race. Remember, he finished 5th in the first moto. And Gebhardt already on the attack, trying to go to the front. He is going to try to work his way around Lewis Williams as fast as possible. Oh, that's not going to help, though. Gets stood up in the rut. And Kohenauer sneaks back into the picture. Oh, Kohenauer sideways. Kohenauer down. Oh, man. Was in a good spot early. Well, not going to lose too many spots, actually. Gets going behind his teammate Dickerson here. And Jack Haley, much better start this time around. Let's see if he can stick with Leclerc, perhaps. Through the rollers, down by the mechanics area. Leclerc trying to peek down the inside. Oh, man, and Caleb Hall. Not too many people have gone around the outside of Leclerc and held it tonight. Leclerc has been feisty with those inside moves. Oh, Lewis Williams down at the end of the straightaway. Gebhardt just avoids him. And here comes Hall. Hall hits him, goes down. Leclerc able to scoot on by. There's Haley, Parks, and Dickerson going through. Parks around the outside, pulls up alongside Dickerson. Then tries to go around the outside of him to the inside in this corner. Does not give Dickerson an inch because Dickerson gave him no inches, and then Williams gets into Parks and goes down, and Parks somehow stays up. So it is absolute chaos right now for these guys. Dickerson trying to close that gap down. Trying to go around the outside of Jack Haley. Not quite able to make the pass just yet. Sideways kick there for Dickerson. Just trying to send it after Haley right now. A little further up the road, it's still Speck out front. That's not going to help his case. Here comes Gebhardt. Closing up already on Speck, and then Gebhardt goes down. Walter Gebhardt hits the deck. Leclerc goes by. And Haley's also going to go through, and is Dickerson going to find his way by as well? He will. So it is Speck from Leclerc, and this is exactly how Leclerc would have drawn it up, I assume. Adam Holm, buried down in the order a little bit, has some work to do, and a lot of heavy hitters out front that can play spoiler, if you will, while Leclerc goes on to try to take this race win. Gebhardt and Haley could quite easily, comparatively, finish 2nd and 3rd in this race behind Leclerc. Can't forget Speck's riding well as well. And Speck goes down, Leclerc to the lead. Speck hits the deck, and Leclerc is now out front. Haley and Gebhardt are going to go by him. So Speck now right there in front of Dickerson. We have Bobby DeSell up here as well. Magnetti, Parks, Mills, Williams, and then Holm. So Holm now in 11th. Surely has to know Leclerc is out front and that his world title hopes are dwindling. So Holm trying to make quick work of some of these guys in front of him. Oh, Leclerc's down with the lead. The green dot out front has come to a complete stop, and Leclerc has coughed up the race lead. So he gets up. He's still in second. He's right in front of Magnetti. Speck. Dickerson must have also gone down as, Speck was just getting up from his crash. Gebhardt goes by. So it's Haley leading from Leclerc. Magnetti's up to third. Gebhardt is fourth. Speck is fifth. Dickerson is in 6th, 7th for Mills, 8th for Parks, and 9th for Holm. Look at this freight train right here. Are you kidding me? Oh, and then DeSell tries to make an overzealous pass on Caden Speck, and he goes down. That's going to be a gift for Adam Holm. And he's going to move his way up into 8th now. And remember, if Leclerc wins this race, Holm needs third or better to stay alive in the championship. He's trying to get around Ethan Parks now. Parks on the 96. He's actually riding my bike, but he is number 96. He's had a great year so far. Trying to defend from Adam Holm. Holm tries to go up the inside. A little bit of a scare tactic there, perhaps. So carries momentum through the rollers. And everybody first back here to, really just all the way through the field. It's still fairly close. We got a rider down. Looks like off the side of the track. Oh, and it's Parks that hits him. It was Gebhardt who was down, and Parks plows into him. So Holm moves up to 6th. So Mills ahead of him. Dickerson, Magnetti, Haley, and Leclerc, who had the lead again, goes down in the exact same corner as he did a lap ago. So Haley goes back by. Magnetti moves into 2nd, and Leclerc gets up in 3rd. Dickerson is now 4th, and Mills inside of the top 5. Adam Holm back here in 6th. So championship-wise, this is not a clinching scenario for Leclerc anymore. 3rd back to 6th. Only a 5-point swing. And Leclerc needs 6 points to clinch the title right now. Oh, that was Dickerson that was down as well, so Holm moves up to 5th. Man, it was looking really good for Leclerc pretty early in this one. And not quite exactly what he would have liked to see at this point in the race. Although the saving grace, if you will, is that he still has some help up front if he were able to get up to the lead. Jack Haley is not going to lay over for Adam Holm. Magnetti has been fantastic lately. So Leclerc trying to maybe make quick work of Magnetti and just let him be and hold on to the position and ride his steady pace and maybe hold Adam Holm behind him and then go after Haley for the win. As a reminder, if Leclerc can win this race, and he goes down again. I'll just finish that thought, though. If Leclerc could win the race, Adam Holm needs to finish 3rd or better to stay alive in the championship, but it's now a completely different scenario as Holm has passed Leclerc. Leclerc at one point led this race while Adam Holm was down outside of the top 20, and the positions have flipped, and we're yet just 10 minutes into this moto. Oh, and DeSell goes down right in front of Leclerc. So now Leclerc can settle it with Adam Holm in his own right. Leclerc trying to run down Adam Holm, just straight up pass him. There's more guys ahead of him that they would like to get, though. Daniel Mills, lap to rider, getting a little squirrely in front of him. Ooh, that is a tough way to go. And then Leclerc launches on top of him and then goes down. I think Leclerc may have got front end lock off of him, so Gebhardt able to scoot on through. So it's actually going the opposite direction. Speck almost got by Leclerc as well, and the Decel went down. That lap to rider getting in the way a little bit there, and Speck is indeed going to go back around Leclerc. I think that might be Alex Zellner that is wreaking a bit of havoc for these guys. So Leclerc now behind Speck and Gebhardt. And now Haley has dropped behind Holm. So Magnetti is leading the race. What is happening in Lommel right now? This is insane. The first moto ended actually fairly straightforward, a bit of a normal result there. But the first moto battles were a bit chaotic and hard to keep track of. And it seems like that's carrying over here into Moto 2. It is not straightforward whatsoever right now on the track. And Adam Holm moving forward is not a surefire guarantee that he is saving himself from losing the World Championship here tonight, as he himself could run into some issues and go down and then lose several positions because everybody's still so close together. So he's trying to combat that by riding a strong pace now, going after Daniel Mills for second if he can, and opening those gaps behind him. Holm looks strong. Pace is good. Confidence is flowing. Trying to claw some points back from Leclerc. At the very least, take this championship down to the final race. Bit of a, yeah, what to Leclerc, if you will, who I guess, I think, thought he had it so well covered off in the championship scenario that he didn't even need to race the 450 class last week, just race the MX2 class. I think was coming here still expecting to perhaps clinch the world title with relative ease, and Adam Holm has shown up to play here down the stretch. Magnetti was down, so that's Mills in the lead, but Holm might take it away here with lap traffic coming into play. Yeah, Holm jumps to the lead. I think that was Fisher that went down off the track around the outside, a lapped rider, but Holm takes the lead. Mills fighting back, trying to get it back from him. Oh, and Holm gets it right back. Wow, what a pass. Magnetti's still lurking right there. Top three, nose to tail. It is Holm. Mills goes down. Magnetti goes by. Gebhardt goes through. Leclerc hops over Daniel Mills. And Mills goes from leading to fifth in a blink of an eye. That's what I'm saying. This is not an easy peasy race here for Adam Holm. He crashes just one time and he drops several positions. Magnetti's still lurking right behind him. You got the sharks in the water of Haley and Leclerc lurking back there as well. Walter Gebhardt, good positioning for him. So Adam Holm, Luke Magnetti, Walter Gebhardt, and Alexis Leclerc literally nose to tail right now. And Jack Haley not too far behind them. Now Magnetti must have, oh, I thought he made a mistake. Gebhardt was just avoiding a lap rider, and now Magnetti does make a mistake. He went down. Magnetti hits the deck. And every single one of those guys we just talked about goes by. Haley goes up to fourth. Leclerc to third now. Gebhardt to second. Oh my goodness, some of the lapped riders. And Adam Holm goes to first as we hit the halfway point of this race. Adam Holm is leading in Lommel. But again, Leclerc has some friends here. Gebhardt doesn't really care what happens to Holm. He wants to beat him straight up. Leclerc, if he can go win the race, gives himself a chance. And Jack Haley, again, doesn't care what happens with Holm. He wants to go out there and put in his best result that he possibly can. And so because of that, Adam Holm cannot take a breath here. He has really got to kind of gas up and go for it, if you will. And these guys are going to be coming. Gebhardt will be the first one to try to get to him. And Gebhardt is riding a blistering pace. Rider down up ahead of them. Moves off to the side of the track. Look at this. Gebhardt around the inside, or around the outside. Comes the inside. Lands on Holm and goes down. And Leclerc is going to take advantage to go to the race lead. There goes Leclerc to the lead. Here comes Haley in second. And Gebhardt gets up right beside him. So Haley and Gebhardt battling for second, and this is the exact scenario I talked about. Leclerc leads, Haley and Gebhardt playing spoilers, and Holm is fourth. That is the championship clinching scenario right now. Still a lot of race left to be run, but this is, if it were to end right now, Leclerc clinches the world title. Oh man, that was super interesting. Gebhardt around the outside, I guess just maybe thought Holm, knowing Gebhardt was coming, wouldn't still go to the inside. I don't know the thought process there. But either way, it ended up in tears a little bit as Gebhardt straight up landed on Holm. They both got up fairly much together, but Gebhardt getting the advantage, obviously, and from positioning, it seems. Holm having to drive it up the hill slowly. Now Holm has it all to play for in front of him once again. And before we get too far away from this, let's go and do a quick top 20 rundown brought to you by Racetech Suspension. Racetech.com over there. Racetech Suspension and Engines get you dialed in with whatever you need on your bike. They will get you set up and ready to go. And Racetech.com is the place to do it. So they bring you this top 20 rundown. Alexis Leclerc, Rockstar Husky on number 7 is in first. Jack Haley on the Jack Daniels Racing number 6 is in second. Walter Gebhardt on the Panini Motorsports number 5 is in third. And Adam Holm on the Atom.com number 1 is in fourth. Then we got Luke Magnetti, 107 on the BPC ride is in fifth. 6th for Caleb Hall on the Nova GFX machine. 7th for Daniel Mills on the Jack Daniels Racing Suzuki on the number 44. 8th for Chase Blakely, the BPC number 21 rider. 9th for Lewis Williams on the Impact number 193. And 10th for Bobby DeSell on the Rival Decal QM1 Glizzy number 341. 11th, Jeremy Cohenauer, MV Films number 13. 12th for Kevin Gonzalez on the number 3 Atom.com ride. Caleb Braden comes through 13th, right? Yeah, 13th on the Elevated Motorsports number 233. 14th for Austin Bear on the Hemlock Hat Code number 37. 15th for Caden Speck on the number 19 machine. 16th for Dylan Long on the TG number 117. 17th for Dylan Copeland on the Tiger Designs number 14. 18th for Braden Castellaneta on the Nova GFX number 221. 19th for Cole Gress on the Mad Cape number 449. And 20th, Ethan Parks on the SYS FamMX Racing number 96. Rounds out your top 20, brought to you by Racetech.com. All right, let's go back up front because we don't want to miss a second of this action. Leclerc has Gebhardt and Haley all over him for the race lead. It's a three-rider battle at the front. Oh, Gebhardt pinches off Haley for second. And I think this is exactly what Adam Holm wants to see. Doesn't want these guys to just lay up and finish in their positions. He wants them to go get Leclerc. He wants them to get together and maybe go down and give Holm a chance to come up there and battle. 6 seconds down is the number 1 machine, and it's really the 4 of these guys to settle it now. Boy, did they open up a gap. 30 seconds between the leader and 5th. And how fast that happened. I mean, Magnetti was leading this race 2 laps ago. He's 40 seconds down. So Gebhardt trying to find a way on Leclerc. Different line again, quadding down. Oh, he goes down! Haley just jumps over top of him, so Gebhardt is down. He's going to get up just as Holm is getting here. And Holm now back into a position where the championship is not clinched, up in 3rd. So if he stays here, championship goes to the finale. 49 points in it between Leclerc and Holm as they run. Jack Haley wants a piece of Alexis Leclerc for the race lead, though. 20 minutes have gone, 10 minutes and 2 laps remain. Oh, Haley blows the rut and super fortunate not to tuck the front wheel there. Nothing in it between these two. And Gebhardt going after Holm, trying to get that position back. Launching out, pulling alongside, and he gets him back. Gebhardt moves back into 3rd. And once again, Adam Holm is in the pressure cooker here. Championship scenario, 51-point lead for Leclerc, provisionally speaking. If it stays, Leclerc is your 2020 Race Factor Gaming World Champion. And he'll have done so around early, and he'll have skipped around in the middle of the season to race an MX2 race as well. So clearly deserving of the title based on merit alone, but still fighting tooth and nail for it here at this finale, or not at this finale, to get it clinched before the finale, I should say, which will be next week. Ooh, Gebhardt off the track in the background. That might be Holmes' opportunity, and he can smell it as he pulls up on Gebhardt again. Gebhardt kind of got away a little bit there, and it's quite honestly opened up a little bit here. 2-second lead. He did a 52.1 last time by did Leclerc. A 52.3 out of Haley. He's 2 seconds back, as mentioned. 6 seconds back is Gebhardt. And 2 seconds back of him is Holm. So if these gaps keep opening up, Holm is at much more of a disadvantage in this scenario. And this is a reborn Jack Haley in this moto, by the way. He was not quite the same guy we're watching right now in the first moto. Rider down off the right side of the track there. They let him go through a 51.4 to a 51.8 out of Leclerc. These guys are insane out front, the pace they're running. And Haley wants the lead so bad, but Leclerc needs to keep it to win the world title here tonight. If Haley straight up wins this race, Leclerc is not the champ. Oh man, Leclerc off the side of the track. Opportunity awaits, and Haley might jump on it. Let's see if he just goes up the inside here and tries to make the pass. No, settles back in. Not ready to make that opportunity work just yet. Are they coming up? Is that Caden Spector already lapping? My goodness. Haley trying this outside to cross over to the inside. Leclerc launching out to flat there. Gosh, the pace. Are you kidding me with these guys? It's insane. Oh, Leclerc goes outside. Opportunity for Haley down the inside, trying to take the race lead. Leclerc fights back around the outside, and he just holds him off. Oh my goodness. How did Leclerc keep the lead? Where did he find the rut out there? Blows the inside. Haley cuts underneath and takes the lead. Jack Haley takes the lead at Lommel. Oh my goodness, Haley out front, and Leclerc has to respond. Championship hanging in the balance as we come up to complete lap number 13 on the lap. 14 lap traffic in the way. Ethan Parks moves out of the way. Leclerc, different line. Oh, that's Austin Bear trying to find his way out of the way as well. Haley does not get the rhythm section very clean. Leclerc gets it gorgeously. But a little hiccup in the corner for the 7. And the pace, what is a 52.4 to a 53.9? You could have fooled me there running so fast that lap. I thought that was going to be in the 50s. This pace is insane, but Gebhardt was catching him too. He did a 49.9. Gebhardt did a 49.9 trying to catch these guys, and Leclerc is trying to get to the inside of Haley. Not gonna work there, and Gebhardt gets up still ahead of Holm, and Holm goes down again. This might be it. Haley holding off Leclerc is Holm's only chance at keeping the world title alive for one more week. Otherwise, Leclerc will have clinched it with a race win. So Haley trying to keep the number 7 machine at bay. And in just tricky conditions here in Lommel, the track continues to get rougher. Lap traffic coming into play a little bit. Leclerc having to kind of bide his time here. And losing ground to Haley all the while. Able to get around those guys, carry some speed in. Haley has to avoid some lap traffic of his own, and that cost him a lot of time. Leclerc gets the inside rut super clean. And now, oh, Haley down. Haley's gone down, and Leclerc takes the lead. Haley hits the deck. And there it is, Leclerc back in the championship position with Holm running 4th and so far behind Gebhardt and Haley. Oh man, that was the dagger in the championship right there. It looked like Haley just got the rut a little bit wrong and it pitched him sideways and he went down. But now Leclerc has some breathing room out front to try to settle his pace back into a normal realm. Haley's got to push the envelope and absolutely go for it here. Oh, lap traffic just trying to get out of the way, but ending up in the main line there. It's so tough sometimes. These guys, the pace they're running, they get to you so fast. Or maybe you've passed them and then they get right back on you again. And it's just like, man, do I ever get a break with these guys? Definitely just between Haley and Leclerc for the win at this point. Coming up on 28 minutes in. Big shout out Eric Thompson in chat. He drops off a $2 donation. Thank you so much for that. And he says, race is so gnarly. Dudes are cray. And thanks for the stream. Yeah, this race is absolutely insane right now. 4.6 seconds is the gap. It's coming down ever so slightly. It's not going to help there, though, as Haley has a big moment. And that's going to cost him a lot of time. But you know what? Leclerc, he's dealing with some lap traffic right now. And they are not playing too kindly. Splitting the difference on either side of the track. Leclerc has to take a very inopportune line that he does not like right there. And then the lapper has to go right back around him trying to stay out of his way. And Leclerc again, more issues. Oh, but Haley's down. Haley's gone down. And Leclerc is going to get 3 laps to go this time by. As we're not quite to that 30-minute mark just yet. But they are not going to get to the flag one more time. So 3 to go for Leclerc out front. Haley pretty alone in second now. Gebhardt is in third. And Adam Holm back here in 4th. Literally just watching his championship hopes fade away into the distance. It was looking fairly good in the first moto, and it was looking actually pretty good for him in this moto too to claw some points back. Oh, he's going to go down right there, hit a hole in the corner, and it is pretty much over at this point unless Haley can go get Leclerc again. That gap, it's 6.3 seconds again, so I guess Leclerc must have just went down again. So back on again with Haley, and he's going to start throwing caution to the wind here because he just wants to win the moto. He doesn't really care about what's going on in this championship drama. Doesn't matter to him. He just wants to win this race. Certainly has the speed to do it. He's shown that. But can he straight up catch Leclerc? One of the toughest things to do in this game is to straight up catch and pass Alexis Leclerc. There's someone capable to do it, though. Jack Haley is one of those guys that has the legs underneath of him to run him down. And his pace is incredible right now. Already got it back under 5 seconds. And Leclerc is still having to go through some lap traffic. 2-lap board coming out this time by. And Haley's pace is intense. Rider down, Castellaneta. So that was lap traffic. We got 2 more lappers in between Haley and Leclerc, and then they have some gap to kind of work it out amongst themselves. Both those lappers go down. Haley in free air. 5 seconds is the gap. 2 laps on the board. Can he straight up catch him? We're going to find out right now. 52.8 to a 52.7. Not looking ideal there, but not out of the question either. That gap just staying stagnant. Leclerc must just be matching him out front. And at this point, Haley does not have the benefit of the doubt with lap traffic helping his case a little bit. So he's just trying to do what he can do at this point, and it's probably going to be a little bit too little too late. Rider down as Leclerc gets to him. Looks like he avoided him nicely. Yeah, that gap staying pretty stagnant at 5 seconds, but it's not completely out of the realm of possibilities just yet that something changes. Leclerc could go down. Oh, that's not going to help. Haley down, and that might do it. So Leclerc may very well have a victory lap on hand ahead of him. Adam Holm way far back at this point. Walter Gebhardt only 20 seconds down to Leclerc, but Holm 50 seconds down. So Adam Holm doing no better than 4th. It's going to take a crash from Leclerc at this point for the World Championship to go down to the wire for the final race of the season next week. Otherwise, Leclerc may be on his way to clinching the World Championship here. He's got one more lap to go, and he's got a gap to work with. So smooth and steady. He's got to avoid the big moments. He's got to stay off the ground. And a world title awaits at the end of this lap for Leclerc. Looks like he is taking it rather easy. I think Haley's probably throwing caution to the wind here, so if we go on board with him, you'll see. Well, there it is again, another mistake. Whoa! Running into him as well. The 42 of Reed Young. Oh, and Gebhardt, just as he gets there, goes down. So this is absolutely signed, sealed, and delivered. In fact, Adam Holm has been passed by Bobby DeSelle. This is a walk-home championship at this point for Leclerc. And I think he probably knows it at this point out front. No pressure from behind. Adam Holm, no chance of getting up inside of the top 3 at this point. And Alexis Leclerc is also going to win the Grand Prix as well. He was second in the first moto. So a Grand Prix victory awaits as well. And as crazy as this day ended up being, it's interesting how easy it's going to look at the end for Leclerc. But that's kind of how it was in the first moto too. So crazy during the moto, and then at the end it just settled right on down. But Leclerc, a couple more corners to go. And he's going to do it around early in Belgium, in the sand. Incredible. The accolades continue to add on. Alexis Leclerc comes down the mechanics area one more time. And the 2020 MX Simulator World Grand Prix World Champion is Alexis Leclerc as he wins the Belgian Grand Prix. Jack Haley will bring it home in second. And Walter Gebhardt will confirm Leclerc's championship with a third in this moto. So Haley going to check in right now in P2. And Gebhardt goes down with a turn to go. But that's not going to matter as DeSelle is still in front of Holm as well. So here it is. Over the roller, and Leclerc confirmed world champion. Now this is for bragging rights. DeSelle trying to hold off Holm for 4th. Oh, Holm sideways in the background. It's Bobby DeSelle in 4th. Adam Holm's title bid falls just short, and he knows it. That is a disappointing disconnect right there for Adam Holm. He knew he had a shot there to keep it in to the final round. Falls short in the end, though, and will end up 5th in this one. It was Blakely crossing the line in 6th. Daniel Mills here looks like he has got 7th ahead of Luke Magnetti. So Magnetti, who trying to hold off Caleb Hall here as well. Hall trying to go for it, but blows the rut. So Mills, as long as he's good in this last corner, we got a rider in the track. Someone's got to move Cale Braden out of the way there. And yeah, it will be Magnetti and then Hall crossing 9th. Williams crossed the line in P10. 11th for Parks, 12th Castellaneta, 13th Gonzalez, 14th Long, 15th was Konar, 16th for Copeland, 17th for Jake West, 18th was Cole Gress, 19th was Austin Bear, and looks like Cale Braden in 20th. Never did actually cross the finish line. So who are we waiting on? Looks like Ricky Hardman and Ian Holm crossing the line now, so we wait for cuts. There they are. And oh, Holm actually did jump to 4th on DeSalle, but it doesn't matter in the end. Confirmed, Alexis Leclerc is the world champion. But we still have a race next week, and we hope you guys will join us as we will crown an MX2 world champion as well, and wrap up the season in style next Monday. But yeah, good night of racing here in Lommel in Belgium. Thanks to all of our sponsors, of course, Ride365.com, Moto Option Clothing, Taggart Designs, Racetech Suspension, Underground RC, MXS Lobby, MV Films, and anybody else that I forgot. Thank you guys so much. All of you guys in chat, really appreciate it. Eric Thompson, the donation, I love you. Thank you so much. And all of you guys that stuck with us here all night long, 3.5 hours of broadcasting. What a night of racing, and a world champion has been crowned. So thank you from all of us here at Star Systems for watching round 11 of the 2020 MXS World Grand Prix Championship. And we'll see you guys this Wednesday for round 9 of the Ride365.com Nationals.
By the words that you say, the voice that carries them has kept me astray. Too soon to act on it, can we ever be? That all depends on what you're feeling from me. Show you all the way. Let me show you all the way. Show you all the ways, yeah. Let me show you all the ways. Taken by the words that you say, the voice that carries them has kept me astray. Too soon to act on it, can we ever be? That all depends on what you're feeling from me. Show you all the way.